Sportsnet Radio Network.
Sometimes I feel a bit helpless with the state of the world, and it feels really hard to make an impact on people's lives. I donate because it makes me feel better to know that I can actually do something today to help people. Donating blood helps me feel like I'm making a difference in the world.
Canadian Blood Services. Experience what you get when you give. Book an appointment at blood.ca.
Bright sunshine day.
My husband is a light sleeper, and before Sleep Country's Sleep Easy event, I was playing silent hopscotch on my creaky floors just to use the washroom without disturbing him. But now that we've gone to Sleep Country and found an amazingly comfortable bed that fits all our needs, there's nothing that can wake him up. Not even that extra loud loose floorboard by the door. Sleep without interruption. Hurry into Sleep Country and get up to 20% off mattresses, sheets, duvets, and more. Only for a limited time. Restrictions apply. Speak to a sleep expert for more details.
I have the test results. Impressive. During those unpredictable weather conditions, the improved Celsius 2 really performed when needed most. Our open country tire got us through tough weather on a variety of terrains with advanced tread design, sipes that really grip. That's a winning lineup.
Toyo has a tire for your vehicle for any road you travel. For a limited time, save even more on select Toyo Tires. Ask us for details or go to toyotires.ca. Toyo Tires, making tires for your road.
Recently, our company's softball team lost the big game by 1 run. Then Dale tried to console us with the quote, "Winning isn't everything." Well, Dale and I are very different. I get early payout from Bet365. If my team goes up big, I get paid out instantly, even if they blow the lead later. Sound familiar, Dale? Thanks, Bet365. Must be 19 or older, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you have questions or concerns about your gambling or the gambling of someone close to you, please go to connectsontario.ca. T&C supply.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Blue Jays win it 3-1.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
This is going to be one of those games that you're going to have to fight the elements. And I don't think that'll be the last bat toss we see tonight.
I would imagine not. As he slid behind Neto, took out his legs, but Neto held onto the ball.
Check out what our cameras caught. That's right. Smacking himself in the face. He really likes to pump himself up and make himself angry.
Oh, he used the hat. That's pretty nice.
Yeah, take a bow. All right, absolutely.
Jim Thorpe's resume reads like a work of pure fiction.
So he's in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He's in the College Football Hall of Fame. He got Olympic medals for the decathlon and the pentathlon.
He's the greatest at
I thought I was an athlete, Lindsay.
Thorpe finished his Major League Baseball career with the Boston Braves in 1919, where he played alongside an outfielder named Les Mann.
He invented this particular projector.
And this is not all he's done, right?
He started championing to get baseball into the Olympics. He finally succeeded for the 1936 Olympics, which was held in Berlin.
The German government had discouraged other nations from sending Jewish and black athletes.
We sent over Jesse Owens, and we sent over Mac Robinson, Jackie Robinson's older brother.
Trailblazers like Thorpe and Robinson certainly lit the way for countless others to follow. Go to baseballhall.org to plan your visiting thing about.
Now, representing the organization, Jim Leland and A.J. Hinch are presenting Miggy with a customized set of cleats made by renowned artist Marco Terzo, made from several significant baseballs from Miguel's career. The cleats are presented on a base representing the time he spent at both third and first base in his career.
Jack Leiter making his season debut.
He's 148 K, second among all AL rookies.
Jets 2-2, and a swing and a miss. There's his first strikeout of the season. He gets Mayo for the second out of the inning. Could be the way to pitch. Here's the 3-2. And that's right in there. Alonso just frozen.
Sinking fastball from Leiter. He retires the side in order for the first time tonight.
Big over-the-top windup, and the 1-2 pitch, he struck him out swinging with a cutter at 94. Nice assortment of pitches there from Jack Leiter. And that new pitch, the cutter, strikes out Adley Rutschman. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Great screwball action, a changeup at 92. So Leiter making use of a couple of pitches he didn't even have 2 years ago when he made his Major League debut.
It's 2-2 and a swing and a miss. Got him chasing a curveball, and Leiter, I don't know that he loved where that one ended up, but he got the job done.
Is batting second is Ernie Clement. Batting third, DHing, is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And the cleanup spot is Jesus Sanchez. He'll be in right field. At first base, batting fifth is Lenin Sosa. Batting sixth is Dalton Varsho. He'll be in center field. At third base, hitting seventh, is Kazuma Okamoto. Batting eighth is Andres Jimenez. He's at shortstop. And behind the dish, batting ninth, is Tyler Heineman. On the mound is lefty Eric Lauer. Leading off for the Angels is Zach Neto. He's at shortstop. DHing Mike Trout. Batting third is Joe Adell. He'll be in left field. In right field in the cleanup spot is Jorge Soler. Batting fifth is Oswald Peraza. He's at third base. At first base, batting sixth is Nolan Shonwell. Batting seventh is Vaughn Grissom. He'll be at second base. Behind the dish, batting eighth is Logan O'Hoppe. And batting ninth in center field is Bryce Teodosio. On the mound is Jose Soriano.
Soriano just led the Angels out onto the diamond in the all-white uniform with a red cap, a big A with a halo around it right at the top. Soriano has been the best starter in baseball through his first 5 starts. He is 5-0 with a .28 ERA. He has pitched 32 2/3 innings across those 5 starts. He's still getting the contact on the ground that he would have the last couple of years. He's striking out more batters than he did previously. He is as big of a handful, or he is as big of a handful as any lineup could take on at this point in the year.
Yeah, Soriano was relatively average in terms of numbers last year. He's always had big stuff, but I think the major difference is better command and reduced sinker usage. That makes him a little bit more unpredictable, and also using the four-seam fastball a little bit more this season. He's got great stuff, and this year specifically a lot better command.
Right-hander goes to the rosin bag at the back of the hill and then steps toward the rubber. Blue Jays will wear their royal blue jerseys and gray pants to wrap up this road stand. White Blue Jays across the chest for Nathan Lucas, who steps in, taps the plate, and looks out to Soriano. Righty winds, he kicks, and the pitch is outside, ball 1 to begin the day. Time of the first pitch is 3:08 Eastern, 12:08 local in Anaheim. Sun shining down on Lucas on a 21-degree day. Here's the 1-0 pitch. And it's a sinker hit on the ground, foul, first base side, 1-1. He's reduced the sinker usage, but that's still the pitch he throws the most so far this year, Jose Soriano. Mixes in a knuckle curve, will throw a four-seam fastball. Splitter, especially to lefties, will come out, and then occasionally a slider as well. His 1-1 is the curveball poured over for a strike, taken by Lucas to make it 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That first sinker he threw in a 1-0 count to Nathan Lucas almost looked like a split finger. It had so much downward action on it.
His 1-2 pitch. Outside. Through the splitter that time, did not get on top of it as it ran up and away.
This guy's given up 1 earned run in almost 33 innings.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
1 out away from 33 innings and 1 earned run. 2-2 pitch. And Lucas bounces a splitter toward first. Shonwell waits on it, gloves, and stomps on the bag to get Lucas. There's 1 out. We're in the first inning. It's brought to you by Armstrong Bird Food. Armstrong Bird Food, the reason birds fly north, feeding Blue Jays since 1986. Visit ArmstrongBirdFood.com. Chad Whitson, our home plate umpire this afternoon, with Bill Miller, the crew chief, at first, Brian Walsh at second, and Chad Fairchild at third. The dominant right-hander Jose Soriano back on the top of the hill, asking for a new baseball before Ernie Clement hits. Right on right, the pitch. Inside with a fastball. The 1-run Soriano allowed came on the 6th against the Braves. Drake Baldwin hit a solo home run against him on April 6th. 1-0. Low with a curve.
So you're telling me it's possible to get to him?
In theory. But since then, not only is he not allowed a run, he has not allowed an extra base hit since giving up that home run. 2-0 pitch. Fouled back off the mask of the catcher, O'Hoppe. He'll lift the mask up on top of his head and take a new baseball to toss back out to his pitcher. 2 balls and a strike. It's a slow windup, pretty free and easy for Soriano. 6'3", 27-year-old righty from Santo Domingo. is 2-1. And Clement hits a liner, dive at short. It's off the glove of Neto and down in shallow center field. Clement around first, he'll hang on there. He's got a first-inning single.
I mean, if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be Ernie Clement, hitting tough pitches. Didn't really get all of that. That sinker kind of ran in on the hands of Ernie Clement, but he got just enough of it to sneak it past Neto at shortstop. Trickled away. That ball actually tipped off of Neto's glove and trickled away. Thought Ernie Clement might think about taking second.
Clement now leads off first, and with one out, some cheers for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Soriano's pitch. Outside, ball one. Guerrero enters this game leading the American League in both hits and batting average. He's hitting .353 on the year, 30 hits and 85 at-bats. The 1-0. And it's hit back foul. Four-seamer caught a lot of the plate there, upper middle part of the zone. 1-1.
If you're going to do it against Soriano, that's the one to do it on. Middle, almost thigh high. Vlad actually put a pretty good swing on it.
Step off throw to first. Clement with a dive back in after a long look from Soriano. Now Jose Soriano steps back on the rubber. An Angels international signing in 2016 out of the Dominican Republic. Righties 1-1. Breaking ball. Called high. 2 balls and a strike.
Last year, Soriano, in 169 innings pitched, had an ERA of 4.26 and 31 starts. So relatively human last year. Not this year.
Not so far, at least. The 2-1. Guerrero launches a ball out to left field, but it got jammed a little. Backing up, Adele has room in front of the track to make the catch. And toss it back in. Clement back to first, 2 down.
That's just a really well-located sinker at 96 miles an hour, in on the hands. Almost like, here it is, good luck. And Vlad tried to get the barrel to it, really pulled the hands in, but didn't quite get enough of it.
So 2 outs. The right-hander Soriano looks in at Jesus Sanchez with Ernie Clement on first base and no score in the game. Right on left matchup, the pitch. Swing and a miss, beat him with 98, and Sanchez lost his helmet on the hack, 0-1. It's pretty improbable Soriano has been this successful at a relatively young age of 27. He had Tommy John surgery twice in the minors. Exposed to the Rule 5 draft, was actually picked up at one point. 0-1. Fouled back 0-2. The Pirates picked him up before 2021, pitched a bit for them, ended up getting hurt, and they returned him to the Angels. You hear a guy's been Rule 5'd and returned and has TJ twice in his first couple years in the minors. You are not earmarking him for regular rotation spot a couple years later. But he has really developed into a bit of a monster so far this season.
You know what's funny, though? He probably would have done and had a lot of success in Pittsburgh had they kept him. Seems like the type of guy that would thrive there.
0-2. Down and away. You pitched in that environment. What about him do you think would work well?
They've struggled for a long time. He's a high-velocity guy, high-upside guy. They love guys like that. They love to get their fingers on guys like that or hands on guys like that and mold them into the Pirate way, is what they call it. And obviously, he's figured something out, and I'm sure that the Pirates are taking notice.
1-2 pitch, swung on and missed, strike 3. Struck out Sanchez with a breaking ball in the dirt to cap off what was a scoreless top of the first inning. Blue Jays got a single from Clement, left him on, no score, and the bottom of the first coming up with Eric Lauer on the hill. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet.
The MLB app. Yeah, it's got game. This game. These games. All the games. Pre-game. Post-game. And everything in between. This is baseball your way. With real-time stats, scores, breaking news, and custom content that hits every time. Because you choose the teams and pick the players you want to follow. So when they catch it on the field, you catch it on the app.
baseball or something. They're checking him all over. I've never seen them do a search like this, quite like this before.
What did they find in his pocket?
I don't know. He's out of there. He's been kicked out of the game. And Nico is moved as he goes over to...
Census, your community, our future. A message from the Government of Canada.
There's nothing worse than waiting in long lines around the ballpark. That's why Bet365 has 5-run early payout. When the team you're riding goes up 5 runs at any point in the game, they'll pay your bet out right then and there, win or lose. No waiting required. Now you can go back for another hot dog. Bet365. Download the app and see what early payouts all about. Must be 19 or older, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca. Terms and conditions apply.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Racing back Santander. Leaps at the wall, and he made the catch.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. Every winning build starts with a solid lineup, quality lumber, trusted materials, and expert advice. From the first pitch to the final out, your local Timbermart helps you build it right. Timbermart, Canada's building center. No score, bottom of the first inning. Eric Lauer on the hill for the Blue Jays, making his 5th appearance of the year, 4th start. Left-hander deals to Zach Neto, and the first pitch is hit in the air, right center field. Chasing after it, Varsho and Sanchez. It's off the wall. Cut off by Jesus Sanchez. He'll option it back in, but Neto cruises into second with a first pitch stand-up double.
They're calling that pitch a changeup, but I'm pretty sure that was just a get-me-over fastball, trying to steal a strike there. First pitch of the ball game. Neto just rips that thing the other way.
Yeah, I believe that was a fastball, too. At 88, that would be down in velocity from what we saw from Lauer his last time out. His velocity's fluctuated with the sickness. That affected him pretty badly over the last couple of weeks. We'll see. That was just pitch 1, so we'll see if it ticks up at all. But a runner on second, no outs, and Mike Trout up the pitch. Fastball at 88, called to strike, 0-1.
He's also got some ortho tape on his neck, so maybe the neck is bothering him. Maybe that's going to hinder the velocity a little bit.
You can see lines of blue tape, 2 of them parallel to each other going up the neck. 0-1 pitch is a check swing grounder to first. Lenin Sosa is playing first base today. He charges gloves, goes to the bag as Neto races over to third base. There's 1 out. Trout does advance Neto 90 feet away from home plate.
That's a swing you don't see from Trout very often. Little awkward half swing, nubber to first base. I mean, I can't remember the last time we saw one of those. And yeah, he just got eaten up by that changeup inside.
That was the changeup.
Yeah.
By the way, in the Timbermart broadcast booth, I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue, Show Ali, our host and producer, Tom Young, our technical director. Infield in, 1 out, and the pitch to Joe Adell is a curveball called to strike, 0-1. Early returns would say a big zone from Chad Whitson today. Lauer and Soriano have already gotten a couple of breaks in the first. Eye black on, thick beard for the right-handed hitting Joe Adell. The pitch. And he hits the ball very high, shallow left center, sprinting forward Nathan Lucas. He'll make the catch almost in the infield. Neto dekes, there was no way he was going to try to advance there. And that's a big out for Eric Lauer. It'll go as a fly out, but essentially a pop-up off the bat of Joe Adell. Keeps the runner at third and now 2 down.
Yeah, in that situation, what you want is a strikeout or you want to pop up to the infield. And Nathan Lucas caught that maybe 15 feet from the cut of the grass, right around where the shortstop probably would be playing. You cannot give up a run against Jose Soriano, and that's why the infield was in here in the first inning. It just puts you behind the 8 ball a little bit, and fortunately for Eric Lauer, he got the pop-up.
Now he's going to get Jorge Soler with a runner on third, 2 down, and no score in the game. The pitch outside. Also on the last play, if the infield isn't in, that is a pop-up because Jimenez would have just gone to get that ball. But because the infield was in, Lucas wisely took off sprinting immediately when that ball was hit to get in there and claim it. Tyler Heineman asks Lauer to step off the hill. A lot of noise in Anaheim. Seemed like they were having some trouble communicating. Wanted to make sure they were on the same page. Lauer sets, only 6 pitches into the inning. He faces his 4th batter already. Here's the 1-0. Fouled back. And with the fact that Soler didn't put that one in play, this will be the longest at-bat of the inning. It was 1 pitch to Neto, 2 to Trout, and 2 to Adele.
Velocity's a little bit down, but it seems like he's locked in terms of command of those pitches.
Set from the southpaw and is left on right, 1-1 pitch. Is popped up, first base side foul. Lenin Sosa curling toward the Blue Jay dugout, leaning over the fence, and he made the grab. Right in the lap of Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Lenin Sosa reaches into the Blue Jay dugout to make the catch and end the inning. A leadoff double for the Angels, and with the help of some good defense, Eric Lauer wiggles his way out of it without allowing a run. No score after an inning. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
In Big League Baseball, things happen fast.
All your favorite games from MLB Play are back. Bigger, bolder, and better than ever. Test your skills with daily puzzles like MLB Pickle, the Ultimate Mystery Player Challenge, and Immaculate Grip, where stats and strategy collide. Then in Spinball, build your roster, take on your friends, and compete for the weekly prize. Or be the first to beat the streak and hit your way to the $5.6 million jackpot. Plus, the all-new Daily Walk-Off. Lock in your players by category for the walk-off win. The game's official home for games is MLB Play. Only on the MLB app and MLB.com.
In a big-time spot here in the 8th. It's the 2-2 pitch.
Yelich, a high drive, deep right, down the line, fair, and gone! Yelich delivers in the clutch. And he left nothing in the tank.
My God, how far did that go? A bomb.
421 feet away.
My goodness.
Christian Yelich, a 3-run blast.
And because you have Enercare Advantage, this visit is covered.
My air conditioner?
Humming along just fine.
My tankless water heater?
Humming.
My water softener?
Also humming along.
And it's all covered.
You got it.
I'm so happy I could hum.
Yep, that's what they all say.
Experts at emergency repairs, maintenance, and home comfort in the GTA, so you have nothing to worry about.
Enercare, experts at home.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
5 strikeouts in 4 scoreless innings for Eric Lauer.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Lenin Sosa leading off the top of the second takes a pitch low from Jose Soriano in this scoreless tie. Blue Jays at Anaheim taking on the Angels. Sosa just made a very impressive catch leaning into the Blue Jay dugout to end the first. Now the 1-0. Called strike. Rare time where Sosa takes the first 2 pitches of an at-bat. It's 1-1. Sosa starting at first base today. He can feature at all 4 infield spots if you need him to. Right on right, the 1-1. Fouled off 1-2. And that play he just made as a first baseman, that was not an easy play. He had to reach his full arm in there, kind of had his armpit resting on the fence. And Vlad was right there. He reached not into the lap, kind of over the shoulder of Vlad almost to make the catch. The 1-2 pitch. Sprayed foul right side, still 1-2.
Look, I don't want to bury Eloy Jimenez or Vladimir Guerrero Jr., but get out of the way. He would have made that play relatively easily if those guys weren't sitting down on the bench still.
I think Vlad's watching it right now on an iPad with Jesus Sanchez. The 1-2. And Sosa rolls over at foul, third base side.
He made the play. That's all that matters.
They were caught ball watching. I'll give Eloy credit. Eloy kind of shuffled to the side. Vlad got a front row seat to that catch. He felt how that catch felt. Not only saw it and heard it as well. Guerrero getting the DH today. They're just trying to get him off his feet today. So they give Sosa the spot at first. 1-2. Down and away. A yanked fastball at 98. 2 balls and 2 strikes. There's been a lot of Lenin Sosa on the highlight reel, though, recently. He's driven in the game-winning run in each of the last 2 games for the Blue Jays. 2-2. And he hits the ball up the middle into left center field. A base hit. Reached down for one of those sinkers below the zone and shot a low liner over the infield grass and onto the outfield grass for the Blue Jays' second hit of the day.
Again, not trying to do too much. He got the sinker and it's a really, really tough sinker. Has a lot of downward action to it at about 96, 97 miles an hour, so it's tough to square up, and Lenin Sosa just hammered that thing on the ground right back up the middle.
Soriano only allowed 2 hits in each of his last 2 starts. Blue Jays already have 2 today, and the pitch to Dalton Varsho is outside, ball 1. Lenin Sosa on first, Dalton Varsho at the plate, nobody out and no score in the top of the second. Alongside former Major League pitcher Chris LaRue, I'm Ben Schulman. Varsho hitting .264, high 700s OPS. The 1-0. Swing and a miss. It's a great curveball right there to the bottom of the zone to make it 1-1.
Lenin Sosa had 2 stolen bases last season, so probably not going anywhere.
Teams have at times picked on Logan O'Hoppe, the catcher for the Angels, but yeah, it does not feel like the right guy necessarily to do that. 1-1. Down and in. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Soriano over the last couple of innings has shown that he's pretty good at holding runners, though. Quick to the plate, varies his time, so even if Lenin Sosa was a threat over there, it'd be difficult.
2-1 pitch. And Varsho pops up a fastball behind the shortstop Neto. He calls for it, now waved off by the left fielder Adele, charging to make the catch in shallow left. Remaining at first base, Sosa. 1 out now in the second inning. This second inning is brought to you by Bet365. At Bet365, you can watch thousands of live games, build your own bet, and can even make a bet while the game's still being played. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. Sosa on first, 1 out, and Kazuma Okamoto to the plate. Soriano's pitch. Ball to strike. It's the 3rd year in a row that Jose Soriano starts for the Angels. Actually debuted as a reliever for them in 2022. 23 rather, pardon me. 0-1. Swing and a miss. Got him to chase a sinker that ran in off the plate, 0-2.
Such a tough pitch. I think that sinker actually started right down the middle. Ended up off the plate inside.
Righty's 0-2. Low. Okamoto lays off a sinker at 96. Kazuma Okamoto did not have a hit yesterday in an 0-for-4 games. A .202 batter with a .613 OPS. 1-2 pitch. In the dirt, 2 balls, 2 strikes. So Hoppe dug it out, popped up, looked at first. Sosa wasn't going anywhere. Sosa takes his lead. Soriano sets. And the 2-ball, 2-strike pitch. Swing and a miss. Struck him out on a sinker below the zone. Gets a chase for Soriano's 2nd strikeout so far. And there are 2 outs in the inning.
They were actually trying to come inside with that sinker. They missed over the middle of the plate a little bit, but it has so much downward action that, I mean, you could throw that pitch really anywhere close to the strike zone, and you're probably going to get a swing and a miss.
2 down, Andres Jimenez up. Still Sosa on first, and the pitch is swung on and missed 0-1. Blue Jays had a leadoff single this inning, but have not moved Sosa since. Runs are not easy to come by against Jose Soriano amongst starters in Major League Baseball. He's the longest active consecutive innings scoreless streak. 0-1, swing and a miss, 0-2. Entered today at 19 2/3 innings consecutive scoreless, with an inning and 2/3 already in the books for him so far today. He's now at 21 1/3 innings scoreless. A slap foul left side.
The interesting thing about that streak is you can have the best stuff, the best command, all those things, but it also takes a lot of luck to be on a streak like that.
One case where he might make a little bit of his own luck is because he pitches down so much, it's really hard to lift the ball and homer off of him. Where guys might just hang one and someone hits a homer, he's less prone to do that. 0-2. is a hung breaking ball hit on a bounce to second base. Picked up there by Von Grissom, who throws to first to end the inning. Leadoff single for the Blue Jays, but they don't do anything with it. Leave Sosa on first and leave the top of the second in a scoreless tie. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Jay Langoliers, who's made the most noise in this game out of anyone. Shea drives it to deep center field. Varsho going back. Still going. As far as he can go. This game is tied. A crowd silencer in Toronto. A 2-homer game for Langoliers. And we are all evened up at 2.
Knotted in twos, and Langoliers gets one center cut and unloads. Just pummeling baseballs.
The MLB app. Yeah, it's got game. This game. These games. All the games. Pre-game. Post-game. And everything in between. This is baseball your way. With real-time stats, scores, breaking news, and custom content that hits every time. Because you choose the teams and pick the players you want to follow.
Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. Every Tuesday home game. Where will you be?
For the last 30 years, Capital One has been there for over 4 million Canadians. 30 years of giving credit and helping people reach the milestones that matter. Because we know when you're given the chance, you can do something great. Whether it's that lease on a new car, a place with more space, or just the feeling that comes with making your daughter's birthday the best one yet. With Capital One, this is just the start. Learn more at CapitalOne.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
It's 5-4 Blue Jays because Alejandro Kirk refuses to stop producing.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Angels half of the second inning. No score. Blue Jays and Angels in the series finale. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Thanks for tuning in today. Eric Lauer winds and deals to Oswald Peraza. High and outside ball one. Peraza, Nolan Shotwell, and Von Grissom. 5, 6, 7 in the Angels order due up this inning. 1-0. Fastball called to strike. Still sitting around 88 is Eric Lauer in this start, which we saw a couple starts ago. Did not see as much in his last start. Still trying to get his stuff after an up-and-down start to the year. 1-1 pitch is hit well in the air. Out to center field, moving toward right center with room. Dalton Varsho makes a one-handed squeeze, and there's one out.
Well, right now, I'm not worried about the velo. I'm worried about the location, the command, and it looks pretty good right now. When you have diminished stuff like Eric Lauer very clearly has in this start, you really have to focus on pitching and locating and commanding all of those pitches, not trying to blow guys away, and he's doing that so far in this start.
And now he'll get a maybe more comfortable left-on-left matchup. Nolan Shotwell is the batter. And the pitch. Fastball outside. You're definitely right. For today, too, and for any singular game, Eric Lauer can go out there, and if he locates with almost any sort of stuff, he'll be fine. 1-0. Foul back 1-1. It might reduce the margin for error slightly, but he can still do it. I guess where I start to think about it, not to make too big of a thing, but now it's a couple starts in a row here, and you wonder, is the stuff ticking back up soon? 1-1 is a fastball lifted out to left center. Varsho, with a little bit of pep in his step, ranges over, makes a one-handed grab again, 2 down.
Well, I think today, and I don't know for sure, but he has a very obvious reason why the velocity is down. The ortho tape tells me that something is going on with the neck or the upper back, and that's really hindering that velo.
And yet, he's recorded 5 in a row and faced 6 batters on only 14 pitches. He works now with 2 outs and the bases empty in the bottom of the second. His pitch to Von Grissom. Outside ball 1. John Schneider did say before today's game that prior to using all the arms they did yesterday, they were considering at least opening for Eric Lauer again. 1-0 is lifted high out to medium depth right. Coming in, Jesus Sanchez battling the sun. He shuffles back, makes the catch, sunglasses on, and it's 3 flyouts in a very quick 1-2-3 bottom of the second. We go to the third in a scoreless tie. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center.
very shallow right field. Can anybody get there? Guerrero does. What a great over-the-shoulder catch by Guerrero down the line.
Drives the ball the other way towards the corner. It is first big league at bat. He's hit it out. Felix Reyes, welcome to your dream. Line drive to left. In comes Soderstrom. Headlong dive, and he makes the catch.
Just a great read off the bat from Tyler Soderstrom.
To the edge of the track, at the wall, he wraps it. First pitch, what a start. Brandon Marsh takes a homer from Acuna. At the wall, here comes Merrill leaping. Jensen Merrill did it again. Merrill madness in Anaheim.
Jordan Leisure on. White Sox were able to tack on a little insurance with the home run from Munetake Murakami.
Here's Kurtz, driven to right field. Tie game! 1:15 off the bat, and Kurtz is amped up along with this West Sacramento crowd, 6-6.
That's how quickly things can change, not only personally for Nick Kurtz, but for the ball club. Just one swing. And we've got a brand new ball game here.
Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca. Terms and conditions apply.
You know you make me wanna. Hi, this is Ernie Clement, and you're listening to Toronto Blue Jays baseball on Sportsnet Radio Network.
Blue Jays baseball is brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Port Dufferin and Bridgewater, Nova Scotia. Protect your vehicle with Canada's #1 rust protection. Find your local Crown Rust Control family at crown.com. 0-0, Blue Jays and Angels, top of the third about to start with Tyler Heineman, Nathan Lucas, and Ernie Clement. 2 up for the Blue Jays. Jose Soriano has allowed 1 hit, but no runners even in scoring position through his first 2 innings. The right-hander offers home to Heineman. Swing and a miss. Switch hitting Heineman, batting left. Still trying to get going offensively to start the year, batting .241, no extra base hits. OPS at .532. Although he did miss some time pretty recently, dealing with some back spasms. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss. Really good changeup on the bottom outside corner. No balls, 2 strikes.
I mean, that thing was 93 miles an hour. That's most guys' fastball.
It's again, second night in a row. It's a changeup for movement, not for change of pace. And it moves like a splitter. Really is a splitter, to be honest. 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Went back to the splitter to punch out Tyler Heineman, and there's 1 out.
You could have thrown the curve. You could have thrown the 4-seam fastball. But Soriano saw that swing from Tyler Heineman on the changeup, the splitter, whatever you want to call it, on the previous pitch, and he said, why not throw another one? And he threw it in a perfect location. Tyler Heineman was way out in front of it.
1 out, bases empty. Back to the top of the order. The pitch to Nathan Lucas is another splitter. Waved at and missed, 0-1. Maybe you should just throw that pitch all day. Kick in the 0-1. And Lucas lifts the ball out to shallow left center. This could be trouble. Moving in Adele, and it drops it in front of him, a base hit. Adele and Teodosio were both charging it. It was closer to Adele, and it looked like Joe Adele had a beat on it. But that ball just fell in front of him. You can hear the groans from the Angels faithful at Angel Stadium. That really feels like it should have been an out, but the Blue Jays will take a hit there. Not an error, because Adele ended up letting it drop in about 4 feet in front of him.
Yeah, that was a weird one. I mean, definitely closer to Joe Adele at third base, in left field. But you can see the reaction from Jose Soriano, just really, really upset.
Adele just kind of jogged over. 1 out, and the pitch to Ernie Clement. Runner takes off, swing and a miss for a strike. Throw down to second. They got him. Logan O'Hoppe catches Nathan Lucas stealing on the first pitch to Ernie Clement. Lucas hanging on at second in case the Blue Jays want to challenge. They will not. So Nathan Lucas is retired, and now 2 outs and the bases empty and an 0-1 count on Clement.
Against a guy like Jose Soriano, you have to take chances. I like the aggressiveness there. I mean, that's obviously the game plan. Take advantage of certain situations. Try to get guys in scoring position. Even guys like Nathan Lucas, who doesn't steal all that often.
0-1. Down and away. Yeah, it's just, I don't even want to say it's hard to string hits together. He hasn't allowed more than 3 hits in any start this year. Blue Jays already have 3 hits. 1-1. Low, 2 balls, 1 strike.
And one of them really wasn't a hit.
Yeah, and it's another one went off of a diving infielder's glove. It's really hard to think, hey, you're going to get 3 singles in 1 inning to score a run. 2-1. Clement fouls back a center cut 4-seamer. It's 2-2. We welcome you to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. Strong built start in the dugout with the right game plan and the right materials. From framing lumber to finishing supplies, your local Timber Mart helps you build with confidence from the ground up. That's a home run build at Timber Mart, Canada's building center. 2-2 pitch, swatted out to shallow center and down. A slide from Teodosio. He blocks it on a bounce, and the Blue Jays have 4 hits already in the game, the most that Soriano has allowed in any game this year. Clement 2 for 2, and he's on with 2 outs.
I think there's only really one guy in this lineup where I wouldn't be overly aggressive on the base paths with, and that's with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. standing in the batter's box. So I would be shocked if Ernie Clement tries to get to second base here. You want to give Vlad a chance to drive something in a gap, potentially get underneath something.
The pitch. Over the middle with a 4-seamer for strike 1. Yeah, he's one of the few guys, at least with the current health of the roster, that you feel like could really square something up potentially against a pitcher of Soriano's caliber. No score, top of the 3rd. The 0-1 is called low. Immediate tap of the head from Ohapi. That looked to grab the knees at 97. So for now, it's 1-1. But I think both of us expect this to go to 0-2.
That is gross. Yep.
Top half of the baseball was on the bottom part of the zone. It really does not get much better than that at 97 miles an hour. And Guerrero now battling behind 0-2. Angels still have their 2 ABS challenges remaining. Soriano with an 0-2. High and outside. I guess the small silver lining so far is you've gotten Soriano up to 50 pitches. You want to bounce him after 5 or 6, hopefully. Step off throw to first, and Clement dives back in. He has pitched into the 6th in all of his 5 previous starts, Jose Soriano. Going 5 2/3 in his last start against San Diego was one of his shortest outings of the year. Is 1-2. Low with a curveball. Guerrero lays off 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, and his last start against the Padres threw 99 pitches. In the previous start before that Padres start against the Reds, he threw 106. He's pretty built up.
Right-hander set at his stomach. Clements leading off first. And the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Struck him out on a curve on the corner. Soriano has 4 Ks in 3 scoreless innings. Blue Jays had a pair of hits, but do not get a runner to scoring position. They leave one on, and it's still 0-0 middle of the 3rd. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned.
All your favorite games from MLB Play are back. Bigger, bolder, and better than ever. Test your skills with daily puzzles like MLB Pickle, the Ultimate Mystery Player Challenge, and Immaculate Grid, where stats and strategy collide. Then in Spinball, build your roster, take on your friends, and compete for the weekly prize. Or be the first to beat the streak and hit your way to the $5.6 million jackpot. Plus, the all-new Daily Walk-Off. Lock in your players by category for the walk-off win. The game's official home for games is MLB Play. Only on the MLB app and MLB.com.
The captain, Derek Sanderson Jeter, is one of the winningest players in Major League history. He was wearing these very batting gloves when he notched one of those most memorable hits, the 3,000th of his career.
Are we supposed to spit in them like they do the batting gloves?
No spitting. This is a non-spitting museum.
He's just the 2nd player in history whose 3,000th hit was a home run. The first was a former teammate from the Yankees' 1996 World Series championship team. But before he began his Cooperstown-bound career, Boggs would cross paths with another future Hall of Famer. September 6, 1995, the Ironman played his 2,000th 131st consecutive game, surpassing the unbreakable record of the Iron Horse.
Now that's how you pass the torch. Go to baseballhall.org to plan your visit to the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in Cooperstown, New York, and catch every episode of Hall of Fame Connection.
Protect Ontario. Learn more at ontario.ca/protectontario. Paid for by the Government of Ontario.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Strike three. Kevin Gausman strikes out the side.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Scoreless game, bottom of the third. Eric Lauer pours in a curveball to Logan O'Hoppe to start the inning, and it's hit in the air and drops in shallow right near the line for a first pitch leadoff single. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Thanks for tuning in today. Eric Lauer has allowed now 2 hits and 8 batters faced. He'll face the 9-hitter Bryce Teodosio. Talking about this at the close of the second inning, the Blue Jays had considered an opener for second start in a row for Lauer, but didn't feel like after yesterday they had the bullpen arms fresh and available to make that practical. Left on right, the pitch. Bunt shown, and Teodosio pops it up foul. It drops on the grass, third base side foul, or first base side rather, 0-1. Lauer also was very outspoken about not enjoying the opener after his last outing when he came out after Braden Fisher threw an inning. There's a whole longer quote you can find, but he did say, quote, "To be really blunt, I hate it," end quote. 0-1 pitch, bunt shown again, and this one is bunted fair first base side. Heineman races after it bare hands, and he's got no throw. That one was sent right up the line. When Heineman grabbed it, I don't think he had an angle to get it around the runner. It'll be a bunt hit for Teodosio, who's trying to sacrifice himself. And on to second goes O'Hoppe. Not the start to the inning the Blue Jays were hoping for.
Well, Teodosio has a lot of speed, and that bunt, unfortunately, was pretty good right down the first base line. Tyler Heineman made the right choice. A lot of catchers would try to force that throw to the first baseman, potentially throw it away, hit off the runner, and then that runner from second base could even score. So nice job from him picking up that baseball and just sticking it in his back pocket.
Blue Jays infield moves in toward double play depth. First and second and nobody out. Top of the order hitter Zach Neto up. He had a double to start off his day. Lauer peaks at second in the pitch. Fastball at the bottom of the zone, strike one.
I don't disagree with what Lauer said or the thought of that. I just think it should be talked about behind closed doors. You don't say something like that to the media.
0-1 pitch. Chopped foul left side, 0-2.
And I know I'm not on an island with that thought either.
Yeah, John Schneider had come out the next day and just said essentially that he had just hoped that Lauer would have come to him
exactly
first. Oh, 2. Low with a changeup, couldn't get a chase from Neto. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Some of the logic when you open for Lauer, often a lot of righties, especially near the top of the order, so you might be able to throw a righty first, like they did with Fisher last time. Then you get the lefty and Lauer out there. 1-2. Foul back, still a ball and 2 strikes.
I kind of agree to both sides, or with both sides. I agree with the logic of having the opener. I also agree with the reaction from Eric Lauer. Look, starters want to start a game. They don't want to come in the second or third inning. That's just the way it is.
Lauer in his 4th start kicks and deals a 1-2. And he struck him out swinging. Foul tip on a curveball. Big first out of the inning for Lauer because it keeps O'Hoppe at second and Teodosio at first. First K for Lauer in the game.
Yeah, now you can dream of a double play here to end this inning. Really nice pitch from Eric Lauer. Big breaking curveball.
Mike Trout, though, is the hitter now for the Angels. He did bounce out to first base in the first inning. He also has 7 home runs and an OPS in the 900s. 2 looks at second, and Lauer's first pitch is a curveball called a strike, 0-1. Big zone persists. That pitch was probably outside. But it's on the Angels. If they want to ask a question about that, they can tap their heads. Lauer rocks in the 0-1. Outside and low. This inning will go to the out-of-town scoreboard, which is brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill, 100% Canadian-owned and operated since 1992. Every Tuesday night, wings are just half price. Visit stlouiswings.com for details. 1-1. Fouled back, a high fastball at 90 miles an hour. Good to see the 90 there from Lauer after a lot of 88s. And it's 1-2, and Trout will ask for time.
You're going to let it rip. Why not let it rip to Trout?
Yeah, this is a true, use up your reserves in terms of energy right now. You're going to use it against any guy in this lineup. It should be against Mike Trout. 2 on, 1 out. No score in the game, bottom 3. And the pitch. Outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. On the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, we turn our attention to Fort Myers, Florida for some A-ball action tonight between the Dunedin Blue Jays and the Twins-affiliated Fort Myers Muscles. I believe that's Twins. 2-2. Outside, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Sorry, the Fort Myers Mighty Muscles, who are the affiliate of the Twins. And we look there because Jose Barrios is scheduled to make another rehab outing in that game. John Schneider had said a couple days ago they expect about 60-ish pitches from Barrios. Could be 3 or 4 innings. 3-2 to Trout. Curveball hit foul. That would have been in the zone, so Trout had to fight it off. And he keeps himself alive. Still 3-2.
Is that a muscle from the ocean or a muscle like a bicep?
Kind of both. Spelt like one from the ocean, but because they're mighty muscles, the muscle from the ocean is quite jacked.
Nice.
Ohapi on second base. Teodosio on first and 1 out. Payoff pitch. High ball 4. Cutter above the zone. Kind of looked like a ball out of the hand. Trout walks, and the bases are loaded.
Such a tough AB for Mike Trout. Really nice AB. Took a tough pitch there. That cutter above the strike zone. Now you got to make your pitch. And if you're John Schneider, you have to think about bringing the infield in, or do you want to potentially keep them at least at halfway to... No, looks like they're staying back.
Yeah, more double play depth as they try and get a double play ball off the bat of Adele. First pitch is low ball 1.
It's a risky play because you cannot give up a run against Jose Soriano. We've talked about that already.
Bases loaded, 1 out, bottom of the 3rd inning. Left on right, the 1-0 pitch to Joe Adele. Outside, 2-0. Big miss there with the changeup. And that's going to draw Tyler Heineman out to the mound. We can continue on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Yesterday, there was another rehab outing for the Blue Jays. Trey Savage pitched again for the Buffalo Bisons. And in terms of health and stuff, John Schneider spoke highly of the outing, although he acknowledged the command was not really there for Savage, who walked 4 and was scheduled to throw probably about 75 pitches, but threw 64 because with a lapse in command, he ended up throwing almost 35 pitches in his 3rd inning. So he was taken out after 2 1/3, ended up giving up 4 runs, 2 of them earned on 2 hits and 4 walks in 2 1/3 innings. It is unclear where his next outing will be. John Schneider said after today's game, they're going to connect with Trey Savage. There's a chance that his next outing could be at the big league level. Bases loaded, 1 out. Lauer's set. And his 2-0 pitch to Adele. Inside ball 3. Missed with a fastball. And he's got nowhere to put Adele. He's got to throw something in the zone here. But Adele's got a lot of power. Early action in the Blue Jay pen. Tommy Nance is standing up right now. Not really tossing. 3-0 pitch. Over the heart of the plate with a 4-seamer for a strike. 3-1.
Joe Dell's probably thinking, I could have done something with that pitch.
Did not look like he had the green light. But he will now. 3-1 count. O'Hoppe on third, Teodosio on second, and Trout on first. Lauer kicks and deals. And the pitch is hit foul to the right. 91-mile-an-hour heater. His hardest so far of the day, and it's 3-2.
I thought for a second Eric Lauer might throw a changeup in that situation, but trying to pound the strike zone and not walking a run here.
Would love a ground ball to potentially get him out of this jam. Bases loaded, one out. The kick and the 3-2 is hit high in the air out to right field. Playable for Sanchez, who gets behind it. O'Hoppe tagging at third. Caught by Sanchez. He'll throw back in to third base as Teodosio advances 90 feet. In to score Logan O'Hoppe. Joe Adell's sac fly makes it 1-0 Angels in the bottom of the third.
Well, after falling behind 3-0, that's a good result for Eric Lauer. You get an out, you give up a run, and now you have 2 outs in the inning. You move on to the next guy and just pound that strike zone and try to get him out. But you do have the open base at second base, so you do not have to be perfect here to Jorge Soler. You don't have to give in to him if you don't want to.
Soler 0 for 1 on the day. He hit that pop-up that was caught with an arm extended into the Blue Jay dugout by Lenin Sosa to end the first inning. I'll look at Trout on first by Lauer, and the pitch to Soler. Outside, ball 1. We saw Nance standing up, but needless to say for the Blue Jays, they would not like to get into their bullpen early today. Don't want to any day, but they have a good handful of guys who have pitched back-to-back days. Step and throw to first, and Trout back in there standing up. Varland, Rogers, Hoffman all went back-to-back days. I know Varland only threw 1 pitch, but he had thrown 20 the day before. I think they were trying to stay away from him yesterday if possible. And then Miles threw an inning plus yesterday. 1-0 pitch. Curveball poured in for a strike on the outside edge.
I'm assuming Spencer Miles is not down.
I think he's available.
Yeah. You're the Rule 5 guy, you're available.
But it's probably one of those we'd like to avoid, if possible,
definitely.
days. Through 22 yesterday. 1-1. Up and in, 2 balls and 1 strike. You know you have Fluharty. You know you have Nance. You know you have Mantiply. You know you have Fisher. Although it would be 4 out of 6, but I still think you know you have Fisher. 2-1 pitch. Outside 3-1.
But it is just the bottom of the third, so
that's the thing. You want to get into those options at least in the 6th inning if possible. And Lauer's pitch count still manageable because he was so efficient in the first 2 innings. Only at 41 pitches now with runners on the corners and 2 outs in the bottom of the third. 1-0 Angels, and the 3-1 is Soler. Outside, ball 4. And that walk will load the bases. Second walk of the inning for Eric Lauer.
It seemed to me like after falling behind to Soler, they might have been staying away from him. A couple of change-ups in a row behind in the count. That tells me that they're basically just baiting Soler into making a bad decision, maybe rolling over one. But unfortunately for Eric Lauer, he didn't swing the bat.
He is typically a pretty big chase swing and miss guy, but not in that instance. Now Pete Walker out to talk with the base.
We might be on the air. 5 seconds. Yeah.
Jam-packed 2 hours here on the Real Kipper and Bourne Show. Nick Kiprios, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee, Frank the Tank, Braska, and Derek Brandale. We're live on Sportsnet 360. Streaming always on Sportsnet Plus. Also available Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube when you can't catch us live. All right, boys. We got plenty to dive into. Stanley Cup playoffs, of course, blazing out of the gate. Again, last night, tremendous action. We'll get into all of that. In the meantime, just some house cleaning with the Toronto Maple Leafs, just in terms of maybe a search getting narrowed down. Our Elliot Friedman on Sportsnet.ca through his 32 thoughts, really feeling like we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. I'm not sure if there are a lot of household names that are out there.
Right.
But they're out there.
Yeah, Luke Fox also has an article, what you should know about Toronto Maple Leafs GM finalists. So that list would be Ryan Martin of the New York Rangers, Scott White of the Dallas Stars, Evan Gold of the Boston Bruins, and John Chayka of Wendy's.
Okay. And
I don't mean that to sound so dismissive, but that's currently what he's doing.
So do you think
that's a whopper of a list?
No, wrong.
Crap.
Franchise.
So we're going
Frosty reception.
What is it about baseball cards that make them so special? Why do you enjoy doing that?
Well, the biggest thing is I started collecting when I was a kid. O-Pee-Chee was a Canadian hockey league, and then the Canadian football. But I didn't start in the U.S. until I had signed professionally as a ball player. And when I got my first rookie card, and I've got it here with me.
Let's take a peek at that.
1966 with Billy Sorrell.
Yogi Berra was an 18-time All-Star and 10-time World Series champion.
This is the only perfect game in World Series history. You ask him about it, and he would say, it ain't been done before, and it ain't been done since.
David Wells was perfect on May 17th, 1998. Beanie Baby Day.
It's not the pitcher that's calling the game, it's the catcher calling what pitch to throw.
Home plate is 17 inches wide. And so he said, well, if it's more than an inch, and it was a lot more than an inch, then it's an illegal bat.
Well, he is. He's out. Yes, sir. It is out. Look at this.
Keep it down a little, will you, please?
Okay, Yogi.
Casey Stengel and the other touring ball players met the King of England.
Of course, with my English, we had a little trouble understanding each other.
As Yogi said, when you come to a fork in the road, take it. Go to baseballhall.org to plan your visit to the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in Cooperstown, New York, and catch every episode of Hall of Fame.
Bad now? Is that a complete mulligan? Off the first tee? Do people care, not care? Are we in that era where it's like, yeah, I mean, it wasn't a federal case here, you know, he went in, he had a hearing, he pled guilty, and he took his punishment.
Yeah, but he
now
also
move on.
Yeah, but he also had the falling out at the end of his time there, right? Where he was doing a job interview without permission of the franchise. If I'm not mistaken, he had to leave Arizona before the playoffs that year.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't have any opinion on how things were going in Arizona because they were bad and bad on purpose and kind of building toward the future. And he wasn't able to see it through to that.
And as far as I know, he's been reinstated. It's no longer an issue. It's water under the bridge. And
I guess what was seen over that time that would make you think that he is, you know, like I know his sister, Megan, she is very analytically driven and intelligent and good with that stuff. I don't know, you know, I'd be less shocked if her name was involved. You know, that it sounds like he's out doing business. I don't know. I don't have much opinion because I think we have much to go on with him.
Basically, he's been out for 5 years, right? And we talked about Mike Gillis being out for 12.
Right.
If you heard Mike Gillis's name, does the 12 concern you? Does the 5 concern you with Chayka?
For Gillis, yeah, it does concern me. That's a long time, and the questions are always why. Why are there not more people who are eager to have you involved?
Can I be totally honest?
Yeah.
This whole list concerns me.
But Freege is also saying that I think there's some misdirection out there.
Well, he referenced leaks and noise. There's a lot of leaks and noise out there.
Oh, you mean people are speculating about the general manager job for the most popular team in the league?
Well,
people are
it's
talking
not
about
speculation. It's leaks. Sam.
Well, yeah,
we get to speculate and talk. When you talk about leaks, the insinuation is that it's coming from the inside and getting out.
I mean, I don't know. Every sport has this in every level.
Yes, but Elliot doesn't report every team having leaks and noise.
Well, yeah, because your point with the leaks and noise is that, like, they got some people who got to go.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's just...
Is this related to the article that came out?
It just seems that... It just seems like there's a lot more, like, noise. I guess that's the word Elliot used. And we've all covered stories and we've all tried to make calls and maybe get some inside information and intel. But it's very rare where a guy like Elliot Friedman just like makes it a point to publicly speak of it.
Yeah, and so what's strange though is you have these finalists.
I don't want to get too inside baseball here, but the reason that more people are reporting on it and more people are calling and because more people care. Like it's like nobody. You know why you don't hear anything about Nashville? Because nobody cares. There's millions and millions of people that care about this job and care about it. So clearly, there's more.
We hear some stuff on Nashville too.
Well, yeah, but like, I'm sorry, we're not leading a big radio. Well, I guess not radio today. YouTube and Sportsnet show with talk with the Nashville Predators. Yeah. People care about this. That's why there's leaks. That's why there's speculation. That's why people talk about it. Them's the break.
But I think we've learned that, from that Athletic article, there's a lot more people here right now willing to leak, to talk, to whatever. I'm surprised that we have a list of 4 finalists and Gillis is not on it. Like, I don't know what to make of that. What are you hearing about all this?
Like anyone else, I mean, there's just nothing definitive to report or like want to speculate. We can do that for
I do
a while.
Yeah, let's do it.
So here's what I'll speculate.
Okay, here everything after this is just guesswork.
That the Leafs don't want to go down that path.
The Gillis path.
Yeah, the Gillis path.
Yeah.
Or B, Gillis doesn't want to go down that path.
Mm-hmm.
Or C, they have a mutual understanding and maybe there's details to be ironed out and we could still see them. So there's multiple situations here and I just think it's like eerily quiet right now on Gillis.
Yeah. It is because you're not hearing anyone say that he's out of the running, but he's not on anyone's list of who's here.
There's people that are speculating, I'm just following my Leafs X and social media or whatever. And a lot of people are just kind of saying that, maybe Gillis is already done and he's part of the process. And it's like, they're keeping it like that is people are speculating that every day.
Yeah. And with everything that we've seen, nothing would surprise us, but I believe that I think Gillis would want to be in a position in a perfect world. And I don't know whether or not he looks at it and goes, I've been out for 12 years. I'll do whatever I need to do to get them
this year. The most hits he had allowed in a single start before this was 3. In his previous 5 starts, he had allowed 11 total hits, or 2.2 per game. Now, again, it is tough to string singles together against him. But the Blue Jays have 2 hits in each of the last 2 innings off of Soriano. Issue is a caught stealing in the 3rd and then a double play ball in the 4th here has prevented them from getting a runner in scoring position on the back of those 2 hits. Varsho takes his lead off first, a big lead with Cosmo Okamoto to the plate. Soriano's pitch. Inside, almost hit Okamoto with that splitter. 1-0.
Varsho does have a stolen base this season. He had 2 stolen bases last season, but we've seen him shy away from the stolen base mightily over the last couple of seasons.
1-0 pitch. In the dirt, ball 2. This does feel like a good time to run.
It's a great time to run. You have to be aggressive against Soriano like we've talked about already.
Okamoto 0 for 1 with a strikeout swinging. Soriano's 2-0. Is bounced to the left side, picked up by the third baseman Peraza with a long underhand flip. He'll go to second to end the inning. No runs, 2 hits, 1 left for the Blue Jays, and still a 1-0 Angels lead, middle of the 4th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center.
Caglione drives it and well deep to center. Could it be? It is his first home run of the year. That is how you start a homestand.
Great sign for Jack Caglione. First home run of the season for him, and he gets a fastball middle part of the strike zone and punishes this. Dead central, no doubter.
That was loud, and I'll tell you what, Monty, that is a swing and a result that just feels cathartic.
First pitch is launched to deep right field. Kyle Tucker with a tank. Tucker makes it hurt. Tucker goes 435 feet. The air was kindling for this fire to start. Puck has been looking for some explosion, and he got all of this. Upper deck, I don't care for a mile high. That's a blast. Tucker's third home run of the season, second in the last 3 games.
All your favorite games from named Justin from SN 590 at checkout. Terms and conditions apply.
Protect your waste and recycling equipment from costly repairs. With a custom maintenance plan, optimize your waste system performance and longevity with Metro Compactor Service. They've got you covered coast to coast with the largest service fleet in Canada. Their innovative iSmart technology can remotely diagnose, troubleshoot, and monitor equipment health in real time. For on-demand or proactive service, sales, rentals, and extended warranties for all your waste equipment, visit metrocompactor.com. metrocompactor.com.
Hola, soy Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Está escuchando a Toronto Blue Jays Baseball en la radio de Sportsnet.
Angels 1, Blue Jays nothing, bottom of the 4th inning. Eric Lauer deals to Nolan Shotwell and misses down and away, ball 1. Left-handed hitting Shotwell, the lone lefty swinger in the lineup today. Bearded 6'2" first baseman faces a 1-0 and takes high 2-0. Did you say the hindsight was 2015 vision?
Yeah, it could be 2010 too.
So Nolan Shotwell has 2010 vision, by the way. 2-0. And Shotwell hits it hard on a line out to deep right field, turning Sanchez at the wall. It's gone. Solo home run for Nolan Shotwell, who blasted that liner out to right field, just got over the yellow line. It's Shotwell's 3rd of the year, and now a 2-0 Angels lead in the bottom of the 4th.
Well, when you get a 2-0 fastball, 4-seam fastball, almost right down the middle, about thigh high, that's what you're expected to do with it. He jumped all over it. It's tough to score 1 against Soriano. It's very tough to score 2.
It's a big run for the Angels. Scored last inning as well. Now the pitch to Von Grissom is called low, ball 1. Shotwell does not have a ton of power for a first baseman. Most home runs he's hit in a year is 13. But already 3 home runs for him. Maybe he could push closer to 20 this year as the 1-0 lands at the knees to Grissom 1-1. But that eyesight is something that attracted him to a lot of teams, or had a lot of teams attracted to him, I should say. 1-1. Upstairs, 2 balls, 1 strike. I'll admit, I probably should have known this as someone who actively wears glasses, but I didn't even know that was a thing, 2010 vision. But he's able to make out stuff with vivid details as the 2-1 hits the outside edge for called strike 2-2 at 20 feet away that people with 20/20 vision would only be able to make out 10 feet away. So it's not just that he has clear vision, he has advanced vision compared to the general population. 2-2 pitch is lifted out to right field towards the line, charging it Sanchez, pulls up, makes the catch in fair territory, and there's 1 out.
So 20/20 is the bar, right? That's where everybody wants to be.
Well, that's what I thought, but now I think you'd prefer to be 2010.
Well, I feel like that's just being greedy.
Yeah, that's...
What are you sitting at, by the way?
I don't know.
Without glasses.
It's not a huge prescription. I think it's like 1.5 off or
that's
something.
not bad.
So it's not terrible.
That's not bad.
Until about last year, I never needed them. 1 out, base is empty. 2-0 Angels, and the pitch to Logan O'Hoppe is hit off the fist. So looper shallow right center, going back. Clement will drop in over his head. Blue pit for O'Hoppe, who's got a couple of those today. But you put the ball in play, and good things will happen. He's on with 1 out.
Actually, a really nice pitch from Eric Lauer. It was that cutter up and in at the hands, and unfortunately, Logan O'Hoppe just dumped that thing over Ernie Clement at second base.
He's been searching for those. Entered this game below the Mendoza line. And he had set up the last inning for the Angels when they scored a run. He came in to score. Now Bryce Teodosio up, who bunted himself on last time. The pitch, he squares to bunt, pulls it back, pitch in the dirt, scoots away from Heineman, and O'Hoppe will get second base for free. Wild pitch. But I think if you ask Tyler Heineman, he'll say that's a ball I could keep in front of me.
Yeah, it looked like he didn't quite square that up as well as he normally does. Was maybe surprised by Teodosio turning to bunt there.
More than likely, the bunt sign off now. Not a lot of reason to bunt a guy to third and make it 2 outs. Step off throw to second and a safe call on a close play. I think the Blue Jays will at least wait a second and see if their video room wants to look at that as Ohapi dove back in head first.
Blue Jays have gotten really good at that daylight play. You got that right arm in.
But it was close.
Yeah,
they won't
really
challenge,
close.
but it was close.
Perfect throw, perfect tag.
Lauer sets and is 1-0. Teodosio swings and misses. Bryce Teodosio, 26-year-old, 6'2" right-handed hitter from South Carolina. He was an undrafted free agent signing in 2021 out of Clemson University in his home state of South Carolina. 1-1. And he lofts a ball, left field line, long run, Nathan Lucas sprinting toward foul territory, and that ball gets into the third row of seats. A lot of effort there for Jimenez and Lucas, but they had no chance to make a play. It's 1-2.
You ever gone to Clemson? You're an ACC guy.
Yeah, it did not line up for me to do any Syracuse athletics at Clemson.
It's a good place to play any sport.
It wasn't in 2017 when they took on the Orange in football. That was a bad day to be a Clemson Tiger, I'll tell you that. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Struck him out as he elevates the heater outside and gets a chase. 2 down.
That's a big strikeout for the Blue Jays, for Eric Lauer. It's 2-0 now, and the lead cannot grow from here. You have to keep Ohapi at second base and not allow him to score.
If Jose Soriano is long for this game, it's going to be tough to get a couple runs off of him, even with the Blue Jays putting up more hits against him than he allowed in his last 2 starts combined. Pitch to Zach Neto, runner on second, and Neto swings and pops up the first one he sees. First base side foul in the first base coach's box. Lenine Sosa makes the catch, and that will do it for the 4th inning. The Angels get a leadoff homer in the bottom of the 4th from Nolan Shotwell. One more hit, and they leave a runner on second. 2-0 Los Angeles. On to the 5th we go.
The 27-year-old from Bizen, Japan. He made his best start of the season last week in Toronto in his return to the place where he cemented his World Series MVP, which is to run over 6 innings. And so far this season, 2-1 with a 2.50 ERA. Splitter dives under the swing and gives him his first strikeout of the night. And that would be the one to do it. Splitter has been his best pitch. Struck him out. Yamamoto keeps on rolling.
Down swinging at a split. Yamamoto with 5 strikeouts in 5 full innings behind him. Still 1-1.
He struck him out. And you knew it was coming, didn't you? That Splitter dives away.
He struck him out. Sits him down with a split. Strands a pair and keeps this game tied at 1. 7 strong from Yamamoto. Let's stretch.
The vision is something we call high-performance vision. The Bachner Eye Institute is the official laser and eye center of the Toronto Blue Jays. Google Bachner Eye Institute today.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the main event. In this corner, the reigning champ of driving through the rain, the undisputed king of all-wheel driving in the mud, the titan of traction so you can enjoy the outdoors in any weather, Subaru! And the opponent with absolutely no chance, spring weather. This no contest is brought to you by your local Subaru dealer. It's the all-weather drive event with lease rates as low as 1.49%. Conditions apply. See dealer for details. With all-wheel drive traction control and class-leading safety, uncommon comes standard.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
It's Blue Jays 5, Mariners nothing in the 3rd.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
5th inning action is brought to you by Miller Lite. You can celebrate a strikeout hitter catch with great taste at 90 calories per 355 milliliter can serving. Miller Lite, the official beer sponsor of Major League Baseball in Canada, must be drinking age. Celebrate responsibly. Angels get another run on the Nolan Shotwell home run in the bottom of the 4th, and Los Angeles leads it 2-0 as we go to the 5th inning. Still Jose Soriano for the Angels. He'll face Andres Jimenez, Tyler Heineman, and Nathan Lucas. 70 pitches for Soriano. Maybe if they can have a long inning here, they might be able to chase him soon. He's given up 6 hits, but no runs. No runners in scoring position yet. Pitch to Jimenez. Called strike. It's weird to say when they've been shut out through 4 innings, but this is probably the best any offense has been against Soriano this year. 0-1. Swing and a miss. I mean, I'll certainly see an argument for the Braves just because they've scored the only run that he gave up, but that was one guy hitting 1 home run in an otherwise 3-hit day for Atlanta. Blue Jays have 6 hits in 4 innings, just all singles. 0-2 to Jimenez. Down and in. Andres Jimenez bounced out to second base in the 2nd inning. He's 0 for 1. 1-2 pitch. And he hits a hard grounder right side, past the dive of the second baseman Grissom, and into right field. Make it the 7th Blue Jays hit of the game off Soriano, and they got a leadoff base runner.
And now the question is, do you bunt? He's not the tying run standing at first base, but you want to chip away at this lead, especially because Soriano's now thrown 74 pitches, probably going to throw about 100 in this ball game. So when he gets out of this ball game, you want to at least have scored 1 run off of it.
I also think you look at the part of the lineup, you have the 9-hitter Tyler Heineman up, and then the top of the order guys after. I would be surprised if they didn't bunt. Doesn't look like they're going to, though, as the pitch lands outside to Heineman to make the count 1 ball, no strikes.
That's an interesting decision. I'm sure there's an argument against bunting, but I would be inclined to bunt right here.
Heineman struck out swinging in the 3rd. Pickoff toss over to first base and a dive back in by Jimenez. You could see O'Hoppe drop his mitt there as they tried to get the timing right. He was alerting Soriano, but Andres Jimenez dove in. Jimenez has stolen 4 bases this year in 4 tries. 1-0. Called strike.
You have to wonder if that's the angle that they're trying to play here. Just have a straight steal. Have Andres Jimenez try to swipe second base.
Very well could be. Or maybe they were giving him a couple pitches to do it. Maybe now they think about bunting. Or maybe we're way off and they never wanted to bunt in the first place. Soriano's 1-1. And Jimenez took off. The pitch fouled off to the left, so Andres Jimenez will have to go back to first. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
But like I talked about earlier, it's difficult to get a good jump off of Soriano because he's so good at holding the baseball. He makes you feel uncomfortable over there at first base. Also makes the guy standing in that batter's box uncomfortable as well.
Jimenez leads off first. No outs, top of the 5th. 2-0 Angels. The 1-2. Is bounced to the right side. First baseman Shotwell, glove, steps on first, throws to second, and they do not get the tag on Andres Jimenez. Heineman retired. Jimenez slides into second base. So I guess in a way they get the effect of the bunt anyway, as Andres Jimenez advances to scoring position now with 1 out.
Yeah, I think if I'm John Schneider, I'm okay with that. I'm actually pretty happy with that. You get the guy into into scoring position, less than 2 outs, and now you have the top of the order up.
Nathan Lucas, who's 1 for 2 today. His last time he singled to left field, although it looked like a ball that Joe Adell maybe misjudged and probably could have caught. First pitch, curveball down the middle, strike 1. Lucas with hits in 5 of his last 6 games. Yesterday did not have a hit, but hit a hard liner and still reached once in his 3 plate appearances. 0-1. And he hits it foul, back off to the left. No balls, 2 strikes.
Angels are actually giving him that left side of the infield again. A lot of teams do that. We've talked about this numerous times. Second baseman Zach Neto is playing almost behind second base.
Shortstop Zach Neto playing almost behind second base.
Sorry, yeah, shortstop Zach Neto.
0-2. And Lucas jacks the ball in the air, left center field, moving back toward the track. Teodosio makes the catch on the grass. Jimenez will tag and try to advance to third and slide in there, but there are now 2 outs on that warning track teaser of a fly ball from Andres Jimenez. Or pardon me, from Nathan Lucas.
Good swing from Nathan Lucas. Now you have Andres Jimenez at third base, and you have to be aware of the wild pitch here. Anything that trickles away from Locono Hoppy, you have to be aggressive in this situation. Really tough to score runs against Soriano.
Ernie Clement to hit. He's 2 for 2 today. Runner on third, 2 down. Soriano's pitch. Breaking ball that hits the top of the zone for a strike. 0-1. 2 singles to center for Ernie Clement. 0-1. Check swing, pitch down and away. Appeal over to first base, and he did not go. 1 ball, 1 strike. A base hit here would get the Blue Jays on the board. Even if you could just reach if you're Clement, then Guerrero hits. 1-1. And Ernie rolls it over on the ground to third, charging it Peraza. Gloves throws to first and ends the inning. Blue Jays get a leadoff single by, I believe, Andres Jimenez on third base. Despite out hitting the Angels, they trail it 2-0, middle of the 5th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca.
Welcome back to Cincinnati. Gino swung on, crushed, high, deep, left field. There it goes. Goodbye. Into the second deck. A 3-run go-ahead blast.
Hey, Eugenio Suarez to the second deck. And he thunders the Reds ahead 3-2.
Well, there was absolutely no doubt about that one right there. 431 feet for Suarez. That ball was smashed. Mitch Meyer at the wall, leaping off his glove, and look at Ross Glow preventing a 3-run home run. That is one of the oddest plays. Giles, a long run towards the corner. Crashes through the door. For a moment, I thought he wanted to leave early. A strange-looking defensive play by Pat Burrell. It looked like the invisible man came from behind and tackled him. Wanted out in front of the plate.
Protect Ontario. Learn more at ontario.ca/protectontario. Paid for by the Government of Ontario.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Barger to the plate. RBI double, Miles Strong. It's 5-2 Blue Jays.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. You don't win games without fundamentals, and you don't build without quality materials. Your local Timbermart has all the tools, supplies, and expertise you need to step up to the plate and score big on every project. Timbermart, Canada's building center. Eric Lauer's first pitch to Mike Trout, fouled back 0-1. I'm Ben Schulman. To my left, Chris LaRue, Show Ali, our host and producer, and Tom Young, our technical director. It's the Angels 2, the Blue Jays nothing. Lauer out for a 5th inning of work, yet to throw his 60th pitch of the day. Here is pitch 60. And it's taken just high, 1 ball, 1 strike. Saw a look of the Angels dugout. It kind of looked like Kurt Suzuki might be telling Jose Soriano his day is done. Angels starter has pitched 5 scoreless, 7 hits allowed. 1-1. Fouled off the glove of Heineman. It rolls into one of the billboards behind home plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
He's thrown 84 pitches. It's difficult to think that he's out of the ball game if he's healthy. But it looks like he might be. You said Suzuki looked like he was taking him out, and Angels have somebody warming up in that bullpen.
Ryan Zeferjon is up for L.A. 1-2. High, 2 balls, 2 strikes. The 6th inning would start with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. hitting for the 3rd time. Perhaps that's an influence. I don't know. Although Soriano has retired Guerrero both times he's seen him. 2-2. In the dirt, Trout lays off. Full count. Although Lauer got ahead of Mike Trout, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Trout is one of baseball's most patient hitters this year. He's taken 23 walks. Angels in game 26 of the year. Here's the 3-2. Fouled away. And actually, pardon me, he's taken 24 walks because he walked once today as well. He's not quite the same guy when he came up that would hit for high average, steal a lot of bases in power. It's a little more walks in power now. Still finds himself on base a ton. 3-2 pitch. And Trout spoils another, a center cut heater at 90.
Yeah, he just challenged him in the last 2 pitches. Both fastballs were 90 miles an hour.
Flowers walked Trout and gotten him to bounce out to first base. Here's his 8th pitch to Mike Trout. And it's hit high and deep to left field. Luke is back at the track. It's gone. Into the Angel bullpen goes Mike Trout for his 8th home run of the season, and the Angels are up 3-0.
That is vintage Mike Trout right there. You go down with the cutter, not where you want that pitch. If you're throwing the cutter to Mike Trout, you want that thing up near the top of the strike zone, and he just goes down and he rips that thing. Almost hit Zephyr John actually warming up in that Angels bullpen. What a swing from him.
A 428-foot shot for Mike Trout. Hit it 113 miles an hour off the bat. First pitch to Joe Adell, called a strike, 0-1.
Still got that exit velo after all these years.
When he's healthy, he's Mike Trout. 0-1 pitch. And Adell skies one, shallow right field, moving forward. Sanchez makes an underhanded grab, racing in. 1 out. For Trout, that was his 412th career home run. He's second among active players in home runs. The only guy he trails is Giancarlo Stanton.
He's got a pretty good chance to get to 600.
I don't know if he can get 6 at this point because he's already 34.
Yeah,
he should have if he wasn't hurt all the time last couple of years. Pitch to Jorge Soler, low ball 1.
He could definitely get to 500.
For sure.
If he stays healthy.
Yeah. And look, if he stays healthy over the next 6 years, let's say, then he could get 600. 1-0. Foul back off of Heineman, and then the home plate umpire, Chad Whitson. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. The count on Soler.
Tough to hit 35 homers when you're 38, 39, 40 years old, though.
Yeah. It would take a lot.
Yeah.
One pitch. Down and away, 2-1. In about 1,500 fewer plate appearances, he's hit almost 50 more home runs than Paul Goldschmidt. Same can be said for Manny Machado, who's got about 1,000 more plate appearances than Trout. 2-1 pitch, skied by Soler. Middle of the infield, Andres Gimenez battling the sun. Backs up and makes the catch just off to the shortstop side of second base. And there are 2 outs.
That's a really tough sun right now. That sun is right above the infield. Andres Gimenez was looking directly up at it, shielding his face, his eyes from the from the sun with that bare right hand. That's a really, really tough play.
Looked like he checked Ernie Clement just to see if Clement maybe had a better view of it and then decided to take it himself. 2 outs, and the pitch to Oswald Peraza is hit on a line and foul. Left field side, 0-1. By the way, as I peer over that active home run leaders list, number 15 on that list is George Springer. It's only 5 away from his 300th career home run. 0-1 is lined off the glove of Lenyn Sosa, down in right field, a base hit. Soft liner, Sosa jumped up at first base, and it just tipped off the top of his glove. So Peraza's got a 2-out knock.
That changeup was actually 3 or 4 balls off the plate outside, and Peraza was able to find a way to get the bat to it.
It's an out, but got it to the right spot. Chatting with Lenyn Sosa on first. Probably the only 2 guys in this game that would have swung at that pitch are standing right near first. And with 2 outs, Nolan Shonowell up the pitch. Fouled back.
You forgot about Ernie Clement. He's standing at second base.
All three of them are within about 75 feet of each other. Shotwell with a home run last inning and a flyout in the second. 0-1. In the dirt, 1 ball, 1 strike. Flowers allowed 3 runs on 7 hits, trying to get through 5 innings of work here. If he gets it out here with his pitch count at 76 in the bottom third of the order, due up in the 6th, he could potentially pitch on in this game. There's 1-1. Low, 2 balls, 1 strike. Now, if he gets into the 85 pitch range in this inning, I don't know that they would be looking to bring him back out, but we'll have to wait and see. Here's his 78th pitch of the game, a 2-1 offering to Nolan Shanawa. Foul tip. Cutter right down Broadway, but the movement on it got it away from the barrel of Shanawa, 2-2. Quick look at the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Rays won earlier today, 6-1, avoiding a sweep at the hands of the Cincinnati Reds. It's a good day for former Red Nick Martinez, who got the start for Tampa Bay. Out-of-town scores brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. 2 outs, runner on first, and Lauer with a 2-2 pitch to Nolan Shanawa. Called low and outside. Heineman's going to ask for the Blue Jays' first ABS review. That was close to the corner at least. For now, it's a full count. We'll see if the Blue Jays can overturn it to a strikeout. And they will. That pitch picked to the corner. Does not get much better than that. Eric Lauer punches out Shanawa, looking on a 2-2 fastball to end the 5th. Angels get a run on the Trout homer. 2 hits in the inning and 1 left. 3-0 LA as we go to the 6th. You're listening to Blue Jays.
All your favorite games from MLB Play are back. Bigger, bolder, and better than ever. Test your skills with daily puzzles like MLB Pickle, the Ultimate Mystery Player Challenge, and Immaculate Grip, where stats and strategy collide. Then in Spinball, build your roster, take on your friends, and compete for the weekly prize. Or be the first to beat the streak and hit your way to the $5.6 million jackpot. Plus, the all-new Daily Walk-Off. Lock in your players by category for the walk-off win. The game's official home for games is MLB Play. Only on the MLB app and MLB.com.
Very shallow right field. Can anybody get there? Guerrero does. What a great over-the-shoulder catch by Guerrero down the line.
Drives the ball the other way towards the corner. In his first big league at bat, he's hit it out. Felix Reyes, welcome to your dream.
Line drive to left. In comes Soderstrom. Headlong dive, and he makes the catch.
Just a great read off the bat from Tyler Soderstrom.
To the edge of the track, at the wall, he wraps it. First pitch, what a start. Brandon Marsh takes a homer from Acuna.
At the wall, here comes Merrill leaping. Jackson Merrill did it again. Merrill madness in Anaheim.
It becomes personal again. Better your life when you better your bed. Visit one of our Lave Asleep showrooms or laveasleep.com. Lave Asleep, the better bed.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
The first pitch to Barger is tanked out to right field and way out of here.
Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
6th inning is brought to you by Miller Lite. When the moment calls for it, why not celebrate a win with the official beer sponsor of Major League Baseball in Canada? Must be legal drinking age. Celebrate responsibly. Angels are up 3-0 now, thanks to a Mike Trout 5th inning homer, but it's a new hurler for LA. Pitching change brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays. Locally owned, genuinely Canadian. The right-hander, Ryan Zephyr-John, is in the game now, ending the 5-inning start of Jose Soriano. Zephyr-John will start with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. The pitch. Outside with a breaking ball, 1-0.
Well, if you're Vlad, if you're the rest of this offense for the Toronto Blue Jays, you are thrilled that Soriano's no longer in this ball game.
It is odd, though, because they had 7 hits in 5 innings, but didn't really come close to scoring. Now the 1-0 is lifted high. To medium depth center field, Teodosio coming in, looking up into the sun, makes the grab, and there's one out. Ends up being 5 innings, 7 hits, no runs, no walks, which was big from Soriano. He punched out 4. By far the most hits he's allowed in a start this year, but keeps the zeros on the board. Again, he's only allowed 1 run this season and now sports an 0.24 ERA through 6 starts.
It's a bit ridiculous.
It's insane. 1 out, Jesus Sanchez up in the pitch. And it almost hit him. He drops down to the ground, jumping out of the way of that 98-mile-an-hour fastball at his lead knee. And a guy who often is smiling, I mean, he's starting to lighten up now, but he didn't look too impressed after that first pitch. It's a big miss for a fastball.
Yeah, you don't normally see big leaguers miss by that much. Good thing it didn't hit Jesus Sanchez in that lower leg.
Zephyr John's 1-0. And he sprays a breaking ball high and outside. For Ryan Zephyr-John, this is his 7th appearance of the year after getting that first out of Guerrero. He's got a 5.91 ERA. Command has been an issue. 6 walks and a hit batter in 10 2/3 innings. 2-0. Fouled off into the foot of Jesus Sanchez, who went after a breaking ball on the inside edge. It's 2-1. Sanchez limped to the edge of the dirt circle, adjusted his foot protection. He's got the shin guard that has the foot extension, and that foul ball did get the plastic at least, hopefully resisting some of that velocity from the ball. 2-1, swing and a miss, chases outside, and just kind of bails out Zephyr-John there, 2-2.
Yeah, not a great 2-1 swing there. You want to get your pitch, whatever you're looking for, whatever location you're looking for, and not stray away from that. That's a 2-strike swing right there, not a 1-strike swing.
Arguably, even the 2-0, I mean, it would have been in the zone, but right on the corner. Not sure it's a pitch you want to go after 2-0 either. Sanchez does have a hit today, 1 for 2 in the 2-2. Swing and a miss, struck him out. I think the pitch bounced and hit Sanchez in the foot. Either way, he strikes out, and there are 2 down.
I mean, Zephyr-John doesn't have great numbers, a 6.10 ERA, 6 walks, in just over 10 innings pitched, but he does have really, really good stuff. So if he can harness that, if he can throw better pitches, he's going to be pretty effective.
For the Blue Jays, though, you might need to wait him out.
Yeah.
He got a strikeout there. He threw 1 out of 5 pitches in the zone. 2 down, he offers to Lenin Sosa. And his first pitch is called a ball, but got the outside corner. Ohapi's going to challenge and flip this one. It'll be an 0-1 count in a moment. And it is.
Pitch was a strike. Los Angeles retains their challenge.
So the Angels 2 for 2 today. Blue Jays 1 for 1. They both still have their 2 ABS reviews remaining.
You're pretty sure about that one. That was barely a strike. You're getting
Sometimes
better at
you
this.
just know when you see it, you know? Some things look like a strike. 0-1. Swing and a pop-up. Right side of the diamond. The first baseman, Shawnuel, over to make the grab. Second baseman, Grissom, was fighting the sun, so Shawnuel came to his spot, made the catch, and that will do it for the inning. 1-2-3 for Ryan Zephyr-John, and on to the bottom of the 6th we go. 3-0 Angels.
Ahead in the count, Cardinals down 5. Swing and a drive. That's a mammoth shot for Gorman. A long home run over the bullpen.
No, that was a pretty easy swing by Gorman, and that ball went way over the Cardinals bullpen in right field. He has tremendous power.
Get a good pitch to hit. When you do, don't miss it. Nolan didn't. 443-foot shot by Nolan Gorman all over it. Deep right field for Gorman. He got all of it.
Sure they do. You can escape to the north with Side Launch Northbound Lager. Crisp and refreshing, proudly crafted in Ontario. Found at LCBO and beer stores.
Why BDC for my business? The timing's right. Everything's in motion. Economy's changing. It's all about automation, AI. So I said to myself, take the plunge. Yes, I need a loan, but I also need a hand from a partner who's truly working with me, helping me no matter what comes next. Not later. Now.
Get ready for what's next. With BDC, you get financing and advice adapted to your projects. Discover how at bdc.ca/financing. BDC. Financing, advising, know-how.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Swing and a miss, strike three. Barrios retires 7 in a row
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. When it's time to build, renovate, or upgrade, your local Timber Mart has the materials, the know-how, and the team to help you win every time. From the first swing to the final finish, build with confidence at Timber Mart, Canada's building center. I'm Ben Schulman. To my left, Mississauga native, former Major League pitcher Chris Leroux. I guess Montreal native technically, but Mississauga raised. And now Tommy Nance into the game for the Blue Jays. 3-0 Angels, bottom of the 6th. And Nance's pitch to Grissom is cut on and missed, 0-1. Pitching change brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays. Locally owned, genuinely Canadian. 0-1. Curveball for a strike. Actually, the slider there, either way, is strike. It's 0-2. Nance looking to get back on track a little bit. 9 outings for him, an ERA in the 6s, although a lot of that on 1 outing against the Dodgers. Now the 0-2 pitch is lifted out to right. Jesus Sanchez angling in toward the foul line, makes the catch. He was kind of zigzagging as he tracked that ball in the sun, and there's 1 out. For Nance, you'll see fastball, curveball, slider. It's a lot of the 2 breaking balls. Last time we saw him pitch was in the finale of the Diamondbacks series. He threw a scoreless inning. He faces Logan O'Hoppe with 1 out, bottom of the 6th. Nance deals. First pitch heater at 95, called strike. O'Hoppe 2 for 2 despite entering this game batting .191. Kick in the pitch. Down and away, 1 ball, 1 strike. Former Philadelphia Phillies prospect O'Hoppe in his 5th season with the Angels. 1-1. And a fastball runs up and in on him. It's hit foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. In a moment, we'll check on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Blue Jays trailing 3-0 here in the series finale. 1-2 pitch. Rounder foul off the lead leg of O'Hoppe. It bounces away to the first base side.
It seems like he's throwing that curveball just a little bit more than he did last year. Last year, he really relied on that slider, and I remember mentioning multiple times, I love the curveball. I love the bite on the curveball. Seems like he's trusting it a little bit more this year.
1-2. Curveball hit back foul. He has always felt that the curveball is the nastier pitch, but the harder one for him to control. At times last year, he would go more to the slider when he felt like he didn't have a great feel for where he was delivering that curveball to. His 1-2. Swing and a miss. There's a big slider below the knees for a strikeout, and there are 2 down in the inning. Let's go to the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, where the Royals are trying to come back on the Orioles again. It's 8-6 right now, 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. Orioles leading 8-6. Royals do have the tying run coming up to the plate, but they'll need a big swing or the Orioles will take that series. Bryce Teodosio hitting, 2 outs, base is empty, and a first pitch down and away, ball 1. Orioles are leading on the back of a 6-run, 6th inning. Kobe Mayo homered for his 2nd straight day. He had no homers 2 days ago. Now he's got a pair. 1-0. Comeback sinker started outside, hit the outside edge for a strike. 1-1. Teodosio's got a bunt hit and a swinging strikeout. 1-1. Swing and a miss. Pretty nasty slider there. Looked like it almost got arm side run like a splitter. It's 1-2.
A little bit like Trey Savage there.
Yeah. Out-of-town scores brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. 3-0 Angels, and the 1-2 is swung on and missed. Strike 3. Got him on a curve in the dirt. Heineman applies the tag. 2 strikeouts in a 1-2-3, bottom of the 6th for Tommy Nance. Still 3-0 Angels. Back in a flash. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming.
Oh, and it hit Trout right off his right side. He dismisses the athletic training staff, says he's okay.
In between innings. Wow. Look at the signs. It says knuckling.
Tell you what, you know why they're mascots. They swung and missed at that thing about 100 times.
Look out, fellas. A nice job protecting the bullpen.
What a wild turn of events there. It's going to be an out on Nasim Nunez on one of the wilder plays you will see.
The captain, Derek Sanderson Jeter, is one of the winningest players in Major League history. He was wearing these very batting gloves when he notched one of those most memorable hits, the 3,000th of his career.
Are we supposed to spit in them like they do the batting gloves?
No spitting. This is a non-spitting museum.
He's just the second player in history whose 3,000th hit was a home run. The first was a former teammate from the Yankees' 1996 World Series championship team. But before he began his Cooperstown-bound career, Bonds would cross paths with another future Hall of Famer. September 6, 1995, the Iron Man played his 2,131st consecutive game, surpassing the unbreakable record of the Iron Horse.
Now that's how you pass the torch. Go to baseballhall.org to plan your visit to the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in Cooperstown, New York, and catch every episode of Hall of Fame Connections on MLB.tv.
From April 25th through 27th at wayfair.ca. Wayfair, every style, every home.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
0-2 swing and a miss, strike 3.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The 7th inning is brought to you by Capital One. Capital One giving credit to over 4 million Canadians and counting. 3-0 Angels. Still Ryan Zefferjohn, the righty reliever, on for LA. And his first pitch of the inning is a strike to Varsho, 0-1. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Varsho had a single his last time up and a flyout in the second. 0-1. Low, 1 ball, 1 strike. This inning, we'll take a look at the standings watch presented by Bet365, home of the 5-run early payout. Must be 19 plus, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. Right on left, the 1-1 pitch. And Varsho lifts it out to left field towards the line, charging in Joe Adele. He'll make the catch. 1 out. Rays and Orioles have now won today. Yankees, Red Sox coming up a little bit later. So the standings in the AL East are the Yankees 14-9, leading the division. Rays a game and a half back at 13-11. Orioles are now 12-13 now. So they're 3 games back. Blue Jays 10-13, 4 games back. And the Red Sox 9-14, 5 back. First pitch to Kazuma Okamoto, inside, ball 1. Our standings watch is brought to you by Bet365. Blue Jays down 3-0. 1 out, bases empty, top of the 7th. 1-0. Down and away, 2 balls, no strikes.
Chris Bassett actually started that game for the Orioles today. I believe 5 runs, 5 earned runs, and 5 1/3, something like that.
That is the line. Although he picked up the win, his offense helped him out. 2-0. Outside, ball 3. Kick in the 3-0. Called a strike. Zefferjohn got Guerrero, Sanchez, Sosa last inning, and then gets Varsho to start this one. Right-hander works with a sweeper, four-seamer, sinker, and slider. 3-1. Comeback sinker hits the top outside corner of the zone for a strike. 3-2.
Zefferjohn just went sweeper, sweeper, slider, slider, and finally threw a fastball behind in the count. 3-1. Interesting sequence there from the young righty.
3-2 pitch, grounded foul, still 3-2. 6'5" righty from Kansas, drafted out of the University of Kansas in the 3rd round by the Red Sox in 2019. He was traded to the Angels at the 2024 deadline. His payoff pitch Outside ball fourth, skips off the glove of the catcher, Ohapi to the backstop, and Okamoto will go down to first with a 1-out walk. Gives us a brief moment to go to the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. You mentioned Bassett started for the Orioles today. The game coming up later, Yankees and Red Sox at Fenway Park, and it will be a matchup of two very good lefty starters. Max Fried for the Yankees, Ranger Suarez for the Red Sox. That game at 6:45 Eastern. 1-out pitch to Andres Jimenez, his high ball one.
Are you going to be watching that game?
Oh, yeah. Hard not to watch Yankees Red Sox. Dodgers Giants going on right now, too. 1-0. Swinging a ball, flipped down the left field line. Long run for Adele. It's down fair, a base hit, bouncing into foul territory. Around second, into third, Okamoto. Jimenez digs for second. He's got a 1-out double. The Blue Jays' first extra base hit of the game, and they have their best chance to score by far. Second and third now with only 1 out.
Really tough swing from Andres Jimenez. That slider was actually down and in, and he was able to kind of inside out that ball down the third baseline. Really impressive stuff from him, and a good job from Carlos Fablis, the third base coach, holding Okamoto there. There's really no reason to send him, especially with 1 out. He probably could have scored if you send him, but...
Kurt Suzuki is going to go out right now to the mound, and I believe he'll make a pitching change here. Chase Silseth is throwing in the Angels' pen. Zephyr John has allowed a walk and a hit to the last two batters, so Suzuki makes the point, and it's a pitching change brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian. Runners on second and third, 1 out. Blue Jays have their best chance.
Fastball taps the plate. It'll trickle down the third baseline. The Mariners are going to let it roll. Lenny Randall gets down on his hands and knees and blows on it like a curler, and it goes foul.
I have never seen that before in baseball. If this is allowed, that will be part of the arsenal, I'm sure, of the third baseman from now on.
Make you forget Laurel and Hardy in a hurry.
It's going to go as a base hit.
The MLB app. Yeah, it's got game. This game. These games. All the games. Pre-game. Post-game. And everything in between. This is baseball your way. With real-time stats, scores, breaking news, and custom content that hits every time. Because you choose the teams and pick the players you want to follow. So when they catch it on the field, you catch it on the app.
And what do we got? It's one of those parabolic mics. This is one of the sillier delays that I've seen. Gino Hackett with his heels a little high. It's airmailed into right field.
Heath at third, backpedaling, and he can't make the catch. That was awkward.
A little trickeration over the field for it. It's worth a shot. Why not?
Oh, that's funny. Wait till they mass market them, like the Grimace. Yeah.
LaRue. Thank you very much, Joe. The Blue Jays with a walk and then a double down the left field line have second and third, 1 out, and Chase Silseth, the righty reliever, enters for Los Angeles to make his 13th appearance of the season. He's pitched to an ERA just above 2, striking out over 10 per 9 through his first 12 appearances, and he came in the opener of this series and threw a scoreless 7th inning. He'll try now to keep some runs off the board here as the Blue Jays have their best chance of the day. Down 3-0, top of the 7th, second and third, 1 out, and Tyler Heineman, the switch hitting catcher, up to hit from the left side. Silseth sets low, and the right-hander deals home. First pitch waved at and missed, 0-1. Nasty splitter, that's the pitch he'll lead with, the 25-year-old from New Mexico, but he also features a mid to high 90s four-seamers, sweeper, and sinker. The 0-1. Down and in, went right back to the well with the same location on the splitter, but Heineman didn't chase.
Yeah, it seemed like Heineman learned his lesson there. Really comfortable take on that tough split.
Infield is back everywhere but third. Heineman's 1-1. Low ball 2. The ultimate goal, obviously, is to get a hit here and try and play to pair, but at a minimum, you'd like to get a run. And if Heineman puts something on the ground in play, he probably scores Okamoto from third with the infield back. 2-1. Swing and a miss. Went back to the splitter location, down and in, got the chase this time, 2-2.
And now you cut down on the swing, you try to put the ball in play. You want to score that run from third base. You want to start chipping away, especially here in the top of the 7th inning. You want to start chipping away at that 3-0 lead.
Silseth looks at second and is 2-2. Is hit on a bounce to second base, picked up by Grissom. He'll throw to first as Okamoto comes in to score, and Andres Jimenez advances on to third. RBI ground out for Tyler Heineman, and it's 3-1 as the Blue Jays get on the board, still trailing by 2 in the top of the 7th.
Well, John Schneider, Tyler Heineman, they should both be very happy with that result. That's probably worst case scenario in terms of getting the run in. You want to put the ball in play, preferably to the middle of the infield, and then Okamoto scores pretty easily.
Runner on third, 2 down, 3-1 Angels, and the pitch to Nathan Lucas. Flips the top of the zone with a splitter, 0-1. That run will be charged to Ryan Zefferjohn, by the way, who's still responsible for Andres Jimenez on third base as well. 0-1. And Lucas rips it to right field. Base hit rolling all the way to the warning track. Easily scoring is Jimenez. Lucas tearing around first into second base with an RBI double to make it a 1-run game. 3-2 for the Angels in the top of the 7th.
And now that the Blue Jays have scored 2 runs and that tying run is standing at second base, I'm sure there's a lot of Angels fans thinking, why did Jose Soriano come out of the ball game so early? 84 pitches, although 7 hits allowed, so the Blue Jays did make pretty good contact on him today, but I think if you're an Angels fan, you're probably wondering why he came out of that game so early.
Blue Jays jump on the pen, score a pair on Zefferjohn, and Mike Maddox, the pitching coach, is out right now to talk to Chase Silseth before Ernie Clement hits with the tying run in scoring position.
How about that swing from Nathan Lucas? My goodness. It's just like he flipped a switch, and we know about the vertigo now and the things that he's doing to combat that. But man, what a swing from him! A good sweeper down and in, and he just ripped that thing into right field.
I think whoever that doctor was that got him on the right medication, they can grab a jersey, join in, because
jump on that flight home too.
Maybe it's just correlation, but things have gone well for Nathan Lucas since then. Now Ernie Clement's up, trying to tie the game with a base hit to the outfield. Lucas on second, 2 down, and the pitch is hit back foul, 0-1. This lead obviously important to the Angels. Also for Soriano, whether he cares or not, he's trying to become the first pitcher to win all of his first 6 starts since 2016 Jake Arrieta. Down and away. If the Blue Jays tie the game here, Soriano will get a no decision, so he won't be in line to do that. Two-run frame already on a pair of doubles and a walk. 1-1. In the dirt, good block by O'Hoppe. Turned his glove over and took it off of his wrist to keep it in front of him.
Do you think he cares about going to 6-0?
Probably
if
not.
If the Angels win. Let's say if the Angels win.
If the Angels win, I don't think he cares.
Yeah, I don't think he cares.
He kept that ERA below a quarter of a run now, 0.24.
I'm looking at the ERA if I'm Jose Soriano.
2-1. Swing and a miss, 2-2. And he's made comments about wanting to win the Cy Young Award, which I'm sure almost every pitcher wants to do that, if not all of them. But these days, winning 20 games or so is not a prerequisite anymore for that, so it's a little less important. Runner on second, 2 down, 3-2. The Angels lead in the top of the 7th. 2-2 count. Silseth against Clement. The kick and pitch. Hit over the mound, up the middle, into center field. Lucas around third base. He'll come in to score. Ernie Clement ties the game at 3. And the Blue Jays have a big rally here in the 7th to make it a 3-3 game.
Well, we just talked about who is going to swing at pitches off the plate and make contact on the field right now. And we added Ernie Clement late in that conversation. And he goes down and he gets a tough sweeper off the plate. and he rips that thing into center field for a big hit in this ball game, a big hit in this season as well. The Blue Jays badly need this game. Nathan Lucas comes motoring around third base for the third run of the ball game.
Now the first pitch to Guerrero in the dirt, ball one. And don't look now, Vladdy, but Ernie's hitting 323, so someone's on his tail. Blue Jays have tied this game 3 apiece. Runner on first, 2 down at top of the 7th. Guerrero still looking for his first hit of the day. Silseth peeks at first and offers. And the pitch is outside. Vladdy has hits in 12 straight games, hitting .447 in the 12 games prior to this one with a .500 on-base percentage. But today's 0 for 3, a line-out, a strikeout, and a fly-out. 2-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. Elevated splitter. Guerrero went after it with a big hack, but it ended up running in on him. It's 2-1. Some dueling chants in the crowd as Silseth offers a 2-1 to Guerrero. In the dirt, ball 3. He hasn't really gone after Vlad at all. At the same time, if he walks Guerrero here, the go-ahead run's in scoring position.
I mean, it looks to me like they're being careful with Vlad right here. Do you challenge him, or do you throw him another split in the strike zone, maybe below the strike zone? I don't know. I stay away from him.
Clement on first, 2 down, 3-3 score, and Logan O'Hoppe wants to go out and talk with Silseth about it. As they discuss it, we can remind you that this copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership or the Sportsnet Radio Network. 3-3 game, top of the 7th. The Blue Jays have scored 3 runs in this inning. The last 2 came with 2 outs. Ernie Clement just tied it on a single up the middle. He's on first. 2 down. Guerrero at the plate in a 3-1 hitter's count. The pitch. Swing and a bouncer sent left side, picked up by the third baseman Peraza, who bobbles, throws over to first, and gets Vladdy to end the inning. 3 runs on 3 hits for the Blue Jays. Big Lucas double after Jimenez set it up with a double, and then Ernie Clement's RBI single makes it a 3-3 score at the 7th inning stretch. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local.
Rays now chasing a 2-1 deficit as Johnny DeLuca comes up.
Hey, there's a shot. Well tagged off the bat of DeLuca. That baby is gone. And the Rays tie this on one swing of the bat from Johnny DeLuca. A rocket shot. It sounded good, looked even better.
That cleared the bullpen and went up to the second deck.
438 feet, longest shot for DeLuca in his career.
Not a smidge of doubt. That ball was absolutely mashed.
The name of the business is Legacy Catering. We all were talking about how Mom taught us all how to cook. She was a cook at the public school system for ages. So we all started cooking with her. So we decided, to do the business. So we went to figure out what we're going to call it. So we said, let's cook in honor of our mother. So that's when Legacy came in. And just remember that Legacy Catering is about people. And this is what barbecuing is all about. And this is why we love it.
Let's open this up. Take a look at what we find. Looks like we've got Lauren Shahadi.
The animation is great.
We got Robert Flores, one of the stars of MLB Central with Lauren Shahadi. Then we got Mark DeRosa. Look at that. He looks like Superman, does he not? Right?
He was when he was with the Cubs.
Harold Reynolds looking ripped in a tracksuit in Studio 42. There I am. The hair's all
I know this guy.
Look at that jawline.
Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Another screaming flex from Hoffman.
Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. Don't strike out on your next home improvement project. The team at your local Timber Mart has a wide variety of building supplies and leading brands you need. Clear the fence for a big win on every project. Batter up Timber Mart, Canada's building center. Tommy Nance still in, and his first pitch is in there to Zach Netto's strike 1. Blue Jays scored 3 in the top of the 7th. They've tied this game 3-3. 0-1. Popped up, foul back behind the plate, out of play, 0-2. You come into a game against Jose Soriano, and frankly, no matter who you are, the odds are that you're a little bit behind the 8 ball. The odds are you're not going to win a game over him. But now all of a sudden the Blue Jays, late stages, find themselves tied with Soriano out, 0-2. Hit off the end of the bat, foul.
And that's why you have to give credit to Eric Lauer, who early on showed us that he didn't have his best stuff. The velocity was down, but he grinded through the start, gave his team a chance to win, and here we are in the bottom of the 7th in a 3-3 ball game against one of the best in the league. It's pretty impressive.
0-2 is lifted toward right field, backing up Jesus Sanchez. Turns left, backpedaling, makes the catch, 1 out. Mentioned earlier, but if you weren't with us, bit of a depleted bullpen today for the Blue Jays. We're not expecting to see much of Varland, Rogers, or Hoffman. All have gone back-to-back days, and all have had a long appearance at some point in there, except for Rogers. His outings are usually pretty quick. So Tommy Nance gets thrust into a bit more leverage here. Came in when they were down 3-0, but stays in a 3-3 game, and now he'll pitch to Mike Trout. Nance offers, and the pitch up and in at 95, ball 1. Trout homered in the 5th. At the time, made it 3-0 Angels. The 1-0. Breaking ball high and outside, 2-0. It's a tough thing to pitch around a guy when he could be the go-ahead run, but I do wonder how much they attack Trout now, already falling behind 2 balls, no strikes. Nance's pitch is a fastball fouled off, middle in, actually broke off the plate, and Trout with a rare chase, 2-1.
Well, that's exactly what I would have done if I was Tommy Nance. They tried to come inside with a good, hard, sinking fastball. And even if you're Mike Trout, even if you swing at that pitch, it's tough to square up.
The 2-1. Up and in. Trout turns back out of the way. 3 balls, 1 strike. No intent there, but the Angels have been hit by more pitches than any team in baseball, so you understand if they're not too thrilled. They were hit twice yesterday to bring their major league leading total up to 21 batters hit by pitches so far. 3-1. Up and in, ball 4, and Trout will take a 5-pitch walk.
They're just trying to pound him in. Those last 3 pitches, you could see Tyler Heineman set up in the exact same spot on the inside part of the plate, almost on the black.
Yeah, I think they sleep a lot easier if not Mike Trout beats them. If anyone else beats them, I think it's somewhat of a tip of the cap situation, even though I know that's a loaded statement around these parts, but we'll see how he deals to Adele. First pitch, Trout takes off, pitch outside a ball, throw to second, offline, skips away from Clement, but not far enough for Trout to advance. But it will be a stolen base for Mike Trout, his 4th of the year.
Yeah, and I think that's the only thing that you're worried about if you put a guy like Mike Trout on base. He's still athletic, he still has speed, still swipes bags if you let him, and he steals that base really easily. Even if that was a good throw from Tyler Heineman, which it wasn't, I think he would have been safe at second base.
Trout with over 200 stolen bases in his career. 1-0. And Adele flips the ball towards shallow right, down for a base hit. Trout to third base. He'll stop there as Sanchez pounced on it quick and tossed it back into the infield. So for now, still a tie game, but the Blue Jays walk in the tightrope as the go-ahead runs on third. It's runners on the corners with 1 out.
Mike Trout had to hang around second base. He wasn't sure if Jesus Sanchez would potentially catch that ball in right field or not. Actually, he didn't. We're seeing the replay now. He was just held at third base, and that's probably the right call.
That will be the end of the day, though, for Tommy Nance. They try to push him for a second inning. He gives up a walk and a hit after getting the initial flyout. So runners on the corners, 1 out, and a pitching change brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian.
I can't imagine transitioning from loving baseball cards to then knowing it's inevitably coming that you're going to be on baseball cards. What was that moment like for you?
Yeah, I think the first card I saw was when they did something for USA Baseball, and then now seeing my face, seeing me playing baseball on a card, it was surreal. It wasn't that it was that moment where like, wow, this is really something.
and Coors robs him of a home run. Oh, what a play by Denzel. He strikes again.
Oh, what a throw by Adolis Garcia. You just can't outrun the throw.
And time to retire Judge.
Caught it with a play.
And that is going to be caught by Junior.
Ryan, that's the shortstop of the United States of America right there.
Well, was that a play by Junior Caminero?
Diving and making the catch is one. And it's a double play. JJ timed his lead perfectly. Coming in and diving and making the catch, Mike Yastrzemski. Holy Cowser! What a play!
And sliding play by Wilson. Throws to first and down. What a play by Jacob Wilson.
Oh, tremendous play by Edmundo Sosa.
Vargas has been outstanding down there. Look at this.
And J.P. Crawford, basket catch.
Keep a runner scoring from third base with only one out, and a speedy runner at that in Mike Trout. Fisher comes in to face Jorge Soler, and with Soler's swing and miss and the potential to get swing and miss for Braden Fisher, you imagine he's hunting a strikeout right now.
Yeah, number one, you're looking for a strikeout here. Obviously, an infield pop-up would be a good result as well. But because he has that big breaking curveball, if you're Tyler Heineman, you have to block that ball. But if you're Mike Trout standing at third base, you also have to be ready for that ball trickling away from Tyler Heineman.
Infield halfway in, double play opportunity still open. With runners on first and third, the pitch. Swing and a miss. Uncomfortable wave there on a slider near the top of the zone, and quickly Fisher had 0-1, and Soler after that swing asked for time. He wants to think it over. Soler's a tough guy to get on the ground. He's a double play candidate in terms of his speed, but he tries to lift everything. Today he's 0 for 2 with a pair of pop-ups. Fisher's 0-1. Called strike, slider right at the top of the zone, 0-2.
Infield is at medium depth right now, so that tells me that they potentially could be concerned with Mike Trout going home, but they also want to try to turn the double play if it's available.
Might be easier to turn two than throw out Trout on a ground ball. 0-2 pitch. Fastball hit high, deep to left field, but foul. Home run distance, but about 25 feet wide to the pole. And hit 112 miles an hour.
Almost like Soler was sitting on that elevated heater there.
Which is interesting because Fisher doesn't throw the heater a ton. Although he has recently been pitching backwards a little, using it to strike guys out. He just tried to there. It's 0-2. Fastball elevated higher, this time taken by Soler. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I like that sequence because a lot of guys shy away from that pitch if somebody hits it hard. So you throw it again, a little bit better location, and hopefully you get a swing and miss.
Now the 1-2 is hit off the end of the bat, a ground ball to first. It's foul. Sosa had gloved it, stepped on the bag, and thrown to second, but he fielded it just wide of the chalk. It was fair probably for about 70 feet down the line. And they'll do it again at 1-2. You got the rare ground ball there from Soler because he basically cupped that. It went right off the end of the bat and spun awkwardly down the first baseline.
But they've gotten the out at second base, too. That was a really nice play.
I think they would have had a shot. We're getting more of a full look now. I mean, it's incumbent on Sosa making a tough throw over the runner. But I think they had the time to do it at least. First and third, 1 out, and another 1-2. Fouled right back, bangs off the billboard behind home plate. It was an elevated slider outside, out of the zone. Credit to Soler, fell behind 0-2, and he's fouled off 3 of the last 4 pitches. Fisher's 7th offering to Soler. The 1-2. Struck him out swinging. Got him on a curveball below the zone. Huge out as the infield can back up, and there are 2 down. Still runners on the corners in a tie game.
Perfect pitch selection, perfect location. Started at the top of the strike zone, looked like a hittable pitch, and then just fell below that strike zone. Really, really nice curveball, and you get Soler way out in front of that pitch.
Kind of like Nance, the slider's more controllable for Fisher, but that curveball is so violent.
And you rarely see those pitches. So for the Blue Jays to have 2 guys in their bullpen that throw that really tight, really high velocity breaking curveball, is almost a weapon out there.
Pete Walker out to the hill because Kurt Suzuki has made a move. He will hit Yoan Moncada for Oswald Peraza. Moncada had a pinch hit RBI single in the 9th inning yesterday, and now Suzuki is pressing that same button, hoping that Moncada can bring in the go-ahead run in Mike Trout from third with 2 outs. Also makes it a right-on-left matchup as opposed to the right-on-right matchup that Fisher was scheduled for against Oswald Peraza.
Moncada just 12 for 68 this season. That's 176 average, but he does have 3 homers, so he can run into one.
For what it's worth, Fisher fairly even to righties and lefties so far this year. Not a massive split in terms of their batting average against him. First and third, 2 outs, and the right-on-left pitch to Moncada. Fastball in there, bottom third of the zone, strike 1. A flyout to begin this inning, then Trout walked and Adele singled off of Tommy Nance, making it first and third, 1 out. Fisher just punched out Soler. He's trying to pull the magic act and keep it 3-3 going to the 8th. First, he'll step off. Red-haired righty set. And it's 0-1. Curveball just inside. Heineman wants to ask for a challenge. Doesn't look like a pitch that'll get overturned. The Jays do have both their challenges remaining, though. Heineman was trying to make it 0-2, but it'll stay 1-1 after that review.
It looked like Tyler Heineman was actually talking to the Blue Jays dugout after he challenged that and was telling everybody that, yeah, it's inside. But why not? He kind of shrugged his shoulders, and that tells me that he's thinking just why not.
You know, you got to make the decision quick. Maybe after a second, you're like, oh, I don't know about that one in hindsight. A little buyer's remorse. 1-1. Curveball low. 2 balls, 1 strike. Blue Jays still have 1 ABS review remaining. The Angels have both of theirs. Angels trying to take the lead back. They led 3-0. Now it's 3-3. First and third, 2 down. Bottom of the 7th. And the 2-1. Swing and a miss. That was the cutter down and in on the hands. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Beautiful pitch right there.
It's a nice in-between the four-seamer and the slider. Gets a little bit of the slider movement, but still throws it hard at 93 as compared to his 95, 96 on his fastball. Fisher already got 1 punch out this inning. 2 on, 2 outs, and his 2-2 pitch. Inside with a curve. Yanked a couple of those in this at-bat, 3-2. And he's yet to show Moncada the slider. He's given him 3 curveballs, a 4-seamer, and a cutter. No sliders yet. And Fisher's having a technology issue here. Steps off, points to his left ear. They count it as a disengagement, and he steps back on. Fisher peeks at first, now sets. The payoff pitch, fouled back. 96 up and in on the hands again, and it's still 3-2. Trout is on third as the go-ahead run. Joe Adell on first base. He was just running on the 3-2, 2-out pitch. He'll run again on this one. Fisher with a second straight 3-2. And it's high, ball 4, a walk that'll load the bases. Went to the 4-seamer, did not want to show Moncada a slider in that at-bat. That'll push Adell on to second base. Trout remains at third. Nolan Shotwell is up now for the Angels. 1 for 3 today with a solo homer. He bats with the bases loaded and 2 down. Fisher's pitch. Curveball, inside, ball 1. Two walks and a hit this inning for LA. Fisher kicks and fires. And it's a slider right at the knees. Called strike. Shotwell's going to ask for a challenge, but that should stick as a strike. For now, it's 1-1. And it'll stay 1-1, so the Angels are now down to one more challenge remaining as well.
Yeah, it's just perfectly located down at the bottom of that strike zone. The ball actually split the strike box there. Really big pitch to get back in this count. 1-1 with 2 outs here.
Fisher rocks and deals. And a breaking ball is sent in the air down the left field line. Long run, Lucas. It's down fair, a base hit. Trout in to score. Adele scores right behind him. Coming around third base, Moncada beats the throw, and it's a bases-clearing double for Nolan Shotwell to give the Angels a 6-3 lead.
Well, Shotwell has had a couple of big swings in this ball game. Earlier, he had a home run, and then that big swing right there going the other way on a hanging breaking ball. You don't see many of those from Braden Fisher. He normally gets on top of that pitch and gets it down in the strike zone, but Shotwell is able to get the bat to that ball and dump it just inside that foul line down the third base line.
So the Angels immediately reestablish their 3-run lead, and now the pitch to Vaughn Grissom, cut on and missed 0-1. I have to admit I'm surprised that they were continuing to go to the curveball there. That pitch she did not seem to have a lot of command for. It was a curveball that was left up and hit for the double rather than the tighter slider. Now a step-off throw to second, and it squirts through into center field. Taken off for third base, Shotwell. And that'll be an error on Braden Fisher, I believe.
Well, I can tell you what happened on that curveball is he was yanking a lot of curveballs. He was pulling them glove side, so I can almost guarantee that he was telling himself, don't yank it, don't yank it. And when you say don't yank, you tend to leave it arm side, and that's exactly what happened. It was kind of just a little spinner over the outer third at the top of that strike zone, and Shotwell is too good, just takes that thing the other way.
So runner on third now, 2 outs, 6-3 Angels in the 0-1. High and outside. Tommy Nance will get charged with the first 2 runs to score this inning. The third run is owed to Braden Fisher. 1-1 is Sky to shallow right center. Clement, the second baseman, going out there, stumbles, and it drops down onto the outfield grass. Shotwell will score. Picked up off the grass by Jesus Sanchez. Ernie Clement appeared to lose his footing there. Got a glove on it as he went down to the ground, but could not hold on to it. And this inning just devolving on the Blue Jays as it continues. It's now 7-3 Angels.
Yeah, I wonder if he lost that ball in the sun along with stumbling there. I mean, it looked like he tripped. It looked like he overran it. It looked like he might have lost it in the sun. A lot of things. Kind of a perfect storm of just a messy play out there in shallow right.
They'll call it a base hit for Grissom, and that will end the outing of Braden Fisher. Blue Jays now trail 7-3. Runner on, 2 outs, bottom of the 7th. Let's go back to...
What a play, Nico. Last year's Gold Glover in the National League, and he's having a day.
Flying to right. Frelick lays out and makes the play.
Cole Williamson, a diving stop, and he goes the short way to end the inning. Kemp over toward the alley, dives, and he makes the catch. That's a heck of a finish by Otto Kemp. Oh, a diving stop by Stevie gets up to us. Got him! What a play!
Boy, his great speed works on defense as well. That was a flat-out base hit when it left the bat.
Diving stop by Austin Riley. What a grab.
And he makes the catch. Terrific play by Rice. What a play by Guerrero. A rocket off the bat of Marte.
Oh, JoJo held on. Best athlete on the field.
Bare hand throw. Got him. A 1-5-3 and put a star on that one.
Diving stop, my drop to his feet.
We got a guy.
Let's go.
Easy to pitch in the big leagues with defense like that.
So the reason I got to Cooperstown is because I played with Cal and I played with Eddie and I played with some of the greatest players ever. And, you know, I just had to figure out how I did my job, and I was honored to have some of the best players that ever played put on uniforms, and they happen to be Oriole uniforms. If there's ever any doubt that I'm 78, all I got to do is look at my old cards, and I know.
Show this pitching change is brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian. Joe Mantiply will enter, trying to finish off this 7th inning that's gotten away from the Blue Jays, a 4-run frame for the Angels that's helped LA to a 7-3 lead. Mantiply takes on Logan O'Hoppe in a left-on-right matchup with a runner on first and 2 outs. The pitch. Called strike with a fastball, 0-1. Blue Jays had just tied the game 3-3 after trailing 3-0, but the Angels, with quite the response, now have their largest lead of the game at 4. 0-1. Swing and a miss. And I do think the Blue Jays understood when they used a lot of their biggest guys yesterday out of the pen that they were going to have less options today, and sometimes that hurts you. 0-2 in the dirt, 1 ball, 2 strikes. They had some guys pitching in some spots that they don't necessarily pitch in all the time.
Although Braden Fisher just wasn't at his sharpest today. This is probably the least sharp I've seen him over the course of the season.
1-2. Pitch called inside, borderline pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Yeah, he did not have command of his curveball, really. And seemed to back away from throwing his slider, whether it was him or Heineman that made that decision. Fisher appeared to be on his way to getting out of the jam and keeping it tied when he struck out Soler to make it 2 outs, but then a walk, a double, and a bloop single. He should have at least gotten out of it on the bloop single. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Mantiply punches at O'Hoppe, but the damage done as the Angels come up with 4 runs on 3 hits, 1 error, 1 left on base. 7-3 Angels as we go to the 8th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
We play in Toronto. Guerrero sends over some good stuff for the guys, so when we play in Toronto, I definitely dive into that.
You gotta be careful with Vladdy, bro, because a Dominican breakfast will put you to sleep, bro. ¿Cómo está sonando la comida dominicana ya?
La comida dominicana ya no sé cómo está sonando, porque obviamente mi esposa me cocina. O sea, hay restaurantes, pero no voy a comer comida latina.
What a play. It's short and a tremendous effort to get Wood. Julio reaches up, jumps backwards, and makes the catch. Diving play by Shaw.
He bare hands it, spin throw, and Rogers holds the line at the plate.
Ground ball and a diving stop ball, jumping over to first. He got it. Going out, Brito, and Brito makes the play. Line caught on the backhand. Throws. Long throw, and he robbed him. Back over near the stands. Did he make the catch? You bet. Oh, my goodness, he caught it. What a catch. Nico on the dive, gets up and throws him out.
At the wall, he makes the catch for the out. Isbell slips. Oh, he made the catch anyway.
Oh, Nico. He stole a hit from Kyle Schwarber.
Oh, my goodness gracious. He put that away.
Conforto comes down with it. Neto reaches it. Off balance to second. He got him. What a play.
At pound 3636.
Hi, this is Tyler Heineman, and you're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Angels 7, Blue Jays 3. On to the top of the 8th inning we go. New pitcher for the Angels and a pitching change brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian. The left-hander Brent Suter is in for Los Angeles. He'll take on Davis Schneider to start the inning. It's a called strike, 0-1. Schneider is hitting for Jesus Sanchez as they remove the left-handed hitter with the southpaw reliever now in the game. Next pitch is hit sharply on the ground to third. Yohan Moncada takes over there and throws high, but it's reeled in by the tall first baseman Nolan Johnwell. 1 out. Pardon me, that's Grissom over at third base now for the Angels. Adam Frazier came in, and he'll play second base now. Moncada out of the game. Also Soler out of the game. They brought in Josh Lowe in his spot. Lowe will play left field now. Adele will go to right. So 1 out. Base is empty, and the pitch to Lenine Sosa. Called a strike. Blue Jays got 3 in the 7th. Now they're looking for more here in the 8th. The 0-1 pitch is outside, 1-1. Suter, though, has been pretty clinical so far this year. Entered this appearance with a 2.25 ERA. This is his 9th appearance of the year. 1-1 pitch, waved at, missed, 1-2. Doesn't strike out a ton of batters, but some soft contact from the lefty. Works with a four-seamer, and he will toss a curveball in there and get a swinging strikeout off Sosa, 2 down.
He's always been pretty solid, has had a really nice career, kind of flown under the radar for the majority of it. 36 years old now, a career ERA about 3.5.
And I was going to say, works with a four-seamer that has sat around 87, 88 this year. He has pitched to Dalton Varsho with 2 down. Varsho bunts it towards second. It drops down on the infield grass and spins away to the right. Shonwell looked upset as he gloved that one and then tossed it away, although Varsho might have been upset. That would have been a close play if Shonwell could have applied the tag there, as he and Varsho were close together on the first baseline. Instead, it's a bunt foul, and it's 0-1.
Yeah, that might have been a collision over there. Probably better that it went foul.
Varsho walking back to home plate. Nobody on, 2 outs, 7-3 Angels in the top of the 8th inning. 0-1. Fouled back, 0-2. Angels have not been swept yet this year, and although they're on a season-worst 4-game losing streak, they do look to be in pole position to avoid being swept here. 0-2. Low, 1 ball, 2 strikes. For the Blue Jays, they've already won this series, and for however much you care about this, if they win today, they have an above 500 road trip, as Varsho lines one foul to the right, still 1-2. They would go 5-4 on the trip if they win today, 4-5 on the trip if they lose today. I'm not sure they're looking at that as much as they take it a series at a time, but something to note. 1-2. Down and away, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
They could potentially still be thinking that it's April, and there's still a lot of runway to go.
For sure. 2-2. Called strike 3. Dropped a breaking ball in front door to freeze Varsho. And it's a 1-2-3 inning out of the Angel pen for Brent Suter. Middle of the 8th, 7-3 Los Angeles. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned.
Well, here's Mike Trout, who kind of put the league on notice yesterday. He's back, and he's feeling like his old self again. And there's a fly ball, left center field. Trout has launched again as Grisham runs out of room, and the Mike Trout show continues on Broadway.
Superstar Mike Trout.
I think he likes the stadium. I think there's a lot of things to like about hitting in this ballpark for Trout. 110 miles per hour off the bat. Trout, another home run here.
He's getting traded to Boston from Chicago. You see here the traditional jersey. I love a road jersey because it says where you're from. And this is simple, clean, and cool. And then you see this patch right here. This is from the 2013 postseason run, which was unlike anything I had ever been a part of, to punch through and hoist that trophy. Boston strong forever, baby.
Dealer now before offers end April 30th. Conditions apply, only on approved credit. Volkswagen.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
George Springer has given the Blue Jays the lead once again.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bottom of the 8th inning, the Blue Jays trail the Angels in the series finale by a score of 7-3. Joe Mantiply back out there after getting the final out of the 7th. He offers to Bryce Teodosio. And the first pitch is grounded left side past the third baseman Okamoto. Glove deep by Jimenez. His throw across skips in late. It's an infield hit for the speedy Teodosio to lead off the inning. We welcome you to the Timbermart broadcast booth. Every winning team starts at home, and every great build starts with local support. Timbermart stores are family-owned and operated, stepping up to help their communities knock projects out of the park. Timbermart, locally owned, proudly Canadian. It's still Mantiply, but he does pitch with a different outfield. Davis Schneider hit for Jesus Sanchez last inning. Schneider will go to left, and Nathan Lucas bumps over to right field. Pitch to Zach Neto, outside, ball one. Mantiply brings his hands together, and left on right he'll offer. Pitch outside. Somewhat of a tough situation here for Mantiply. They're bringing him in right now more due to availability than the matchup you want to set him up with. He's facing a ton of righties. The funky lefty with a 2-0 pitch. Outside, ball three.
Seems like he's lost it here against Neto. All of his pitches have been arm side high or arm side way outside.
See if Neto gets the green light. Here's the 3-0 from Mantiply. And it's arm side, outside, ball four. 4-pitch walk.
I don't really see that from Mantiply all that often. Normally has a good feel for the strike zone, has a good feel for that release point. Now he's in a little bit of a pickle. Nobody out. Runners at first and second here. You want to keep that lead of the Angels to 7-3.
The Angels do have their closer up, Jordan Romano. 7-3 Los Angeles. First and second, no outs, and Mike Trout to hit. The pitch. Downstairs, ball one. 5 straight balls from Joe Mantiply. It's a chance Romano goes regardless of the lead. He hasn't pitched since Friday as the Angels have lost 4 in a row. 1-0. Called strike, gets a break there. That pitch appeared outside, but it's given as a strike, and it's 1-1.
I think Mike Trout refuses to challenge and use the ABS. No, I'm being serious. I've seen him not challenge on a couple of bad pitches already in this series.
1-1. Outside, 2-1. I will say, if you do that out of some sort of nobility, good for you, but you're only hurting yourself.
Yeah.
It's a rule at this point. But I haven't seen any public statement of him saying that he's refusing to use it. 2-1 pitch. Called strike. That was well outside, but Trout won't use the challenge. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Another one, right? I could be on to something. I haven't heard anything either, but it just seems like he's either shying away from it or just refusing to use it.
He has challenged 4 times this year, by the way.
Oh, all right.
3 for 4.
That's not bad.
2-2. He's sprayed foul to the right. I do wonder if you're Kurt Suzuki. Your team's up 4 now. Maybe you tell guys, hey, we're going to wait until it's a little closer. What if it's 7-5 in the top of the ninth all of a sudden and you need one?
But those 2 pitches were pretty obvious that they were off the plate.
Yeah. 2-2. And Trout pops it up, right side, foul out of play. Trout's reached 3 times today, grounded out in the first, then a walk, homer, and walk, each of his last 3 times up. Future Hall of Famer, and a 2-2 count with 2 on and nobody out. The pitch. And Trout lifts a ball, foul deep down the left field line, and into the second deck at the Big A. Still 2-2. Mantiply offers home, and the pitch is hit back foul. Like the Blue Jays were and maybe still are hoping Mantiply can cover this whole inning, but they do have Mason Fluharty up right now. Mantiply's approaching 20 pitches here. You do have an off day tomorrow, so if you have to use Fluharty, not as big of a deal. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Mantiply strikes out Trout with a curveball below the zone, and there's 1 out.
That was a fun battle, a little 9-pitch piece from Joe Mantiply and Mike Trout, finally getting him that good curveball down and in. Tell you what, I'm pretty impressed with Mantiply and the fact that he has relatively average stuff, arguably below average stuff, and he's still able to just command the zone and get guys out, especially guys like Mike Trout.
Joe Adell up, first and second, one out, and the pitch is fouled back into the midsection of Heineman. Funny thing about Mantiply, who you would expect maybe to pitch a little more to contact, has not had big strikeout numbers in his career. He just struck out his 12th batter in 7 1/3 innings for the Blue Jays. 0-1. Is tapped softly over the hill, charging Andres Jimenez, shovels to second one. That's the only play. Clement looked to first, but did not have a play to throw out Adell. Fielder's choice makes it runners on the corners now and 2 outs.
So 12 strikeouts in just over 7 innings for a guy that throws 88 miles an hour.
Yeah, there's some funk, and he's got some good movement on a big sweeping curveball, but he would never say this, but I would imagine even he does not expect himself to strike out almost 2 per inning.
I don't even expect a guy like Jose Soriano to strike out 2 per inning.
First and third and 2 down, and Josh Lowell hit for the first time today. Came in defensively for Soler in the top half of the inning. Left on left, the pitch sent foul to the left, 0-1. In Mantiply's All-Star campaign in 2022, he did strike out 61 in 60 innings, so he was about a punch-out an inning. His last full season in the big leagues, 2024, he had 53 strikeouts in 59 2/3 innings. 0-1 pitch is hit to center field by Lowe, charging it Varsho into left center. He catches the liner and ends the inning. A little bit of trouble early in the frame, but Mantiply settles in to make it a scoreless bottom of the 8th. On to the 9th we go. The Blue Jays trail at 7-3. They need 4 runs to keep this game going. You're listening to...
Okay, where's the napkin?
No.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Wow.
Well, always eager to help Pedro Martinez.
Oh, that's got to feel good.
Oh, yeah. Sticky's good.
Play in Toronto. Guerrero sends over some good stuff for the guys, so when we play in Toronto, I definitely dive into that.
You gotta be careful with Vladdy, bro, because a Dominican breakfast will put you to sleep, bro. ¿Cómo está sonando la comida dominicana ya?
La comida dominicana ya no sé cómo está sonando, porque obviamente mi esposa me cocina. O sea, hay restaurantes, pero no voy a comer comida latina.
And the opponent with absolutely no chance, spring weather. This no contest is brought to you by your local Subaru dealer. It's the all-weather drive event with lease rates as low as 1.49%. Conditions apply. See dealer for details. With all-wheel drive traction control and class-leading safety, uncommon comes standard.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Archer into second with a first inning 2-run double. It's 2-0 Toronto.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
7-3 Angels lead. On to the 9th we go, and Markham's own Jordan Romano will come on to close for the Angels in a non-save situation. Romano, the long-time, 2-time All-Star Blue Jay closer, sets, looks in at Kazuma Okamoto, and the pitch. Fastball at 93 for a strike, 0-1. Same bushy brown hair and mustache for Romano's, making his 10th appearance of the year, 7.11 ERA. 0-1. Slider inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. And basically the same mix, 4-seamer slider. Romano has added a splitter to his mix for the first time this year, although he's only thrown it 2% of the time. His 1-1 is a slider yanked foul on a line, 1 ball and 2 strikes as he gets ahead of Okamoto. An All-Star in 2022 and 2023, appeared in 231 games for the Blue Jays to a 2.90 ERA and over 100 saves. His 1-2 is a fastball cracked on the ground through the left side, base hit left field. Okamoto's got his first knock of the day. He's on for the second time. And down by 4, the Blue Jays get the leadoff runner on.
Good swing and a good fastball. That fastball had good tilt to it at the bottom of that strike zone. And Okamoto just rips that thing through that hole on the left side.
Hit it 107 miles an hour off the bat. He's on first. Andres Jimenez is up. Jimenez has 2 hits today, including a double his last time. The pitch. Called strike. After a tough season with the Philadelphia Phillies, Romano joined the Angels in December on a 1-year, $2 million deal. With Kirby Yates injured, he's been closing early in the year. 0-1. Called strike, 0-2. Andres Jimenez is going to challenge that pitch. I thought it hit the zone, and it will remain a strike. So the Blue Jays now out of challenges.
It's actually a great pitch from Jordan Romano.
95 at the knees.
Yeah.
Eloy Jimenez looks like he'll hit for Tyler Heineman next. He's on deck. Runner on first, no outs, the 0-2. Swing and a miss, struck him out on a slider in the dirt. And there's 1 out.
I tell you what, Jordan Romano hasn't had a good season or a great season since 2023, but when he locks in, when he stays on top of that fastball, when he's throwing strikes, commanding that zone, he still can be an effective reliever for sure.
For 3 years, he was very effective for the Blue Jays as their primary closer. Dealt with a lot of injuries in 2024 as well. He might not get quite the same velocity as he did in 2022 and 23, but still has the slider to use as a big weapon. 1 out, Eloy Jimenez up in the pitch. Swing and a miss, chases a slider down and away, 0-1. Jimenez hitting for Heineman. Very limited action. Eloy Jimenez batting .381, 3 RBIs in 7 games. 0-1. In the dirt, a slider skipped in front of home plate and blocked by the catcher, Hoppy. Blue Jays saw Romano last year. They actually walked him off at Rogers Center on June 4th. Alejandro Kirk walked him off. 1-1. Slider tapped away foul, and Romano gets ahead 1 ball, 2 strikes. Last time Romano pitched was 5 days ago. Markham, Ontario native with a 1-2. Down and away. Threw the splitter there at 88, but it was a ball out of the hand, 2-2. Okamoto on first. Jimenez trying to reach 2-2. Is rolled over foul, third base side. Slider hung a little bit there, landed middle in, but Jimenez was out in front of it.
Hey, you're just trying to move the line here. You're not trying to do too much. You're Eloy Jimenez. Put together a good at-bat, potentially work a deep count, see if you can get on base and get the next guy up in that batter's box.
The top of the order behind him, Nathan Lucas waiting, 2-2. And Jimenez fouls back a center-cut fastball at 93. Leadoff single, then a swinging strikeout. Romano works with a runner on first and 1 out. His 2-2 is lined out toward left field. A slide by low. It's down on the grass, bounces and ricochets away from him. Okamoto rounds first and will head to third as he rounded second, pardon me. Eloy Jimenez has another base hit. That one was a thunderous strikeout to left field. And with Lowe just coming up short, the Blue Jays have 2 on now with 1 out. And the tying run will be on deck here as Nathan Lucas comes up to the plate.
Well, he gave himself a chance. He had a deep at-bat or a deep count, got himself into a good count there, and he got a pitch that he could rip. And unfortunately for Josh Lowe, that was a little bit of a messy play out there in left field. It bounced off his wrist, and Okamoto was able to get to third base.
Running for Eloy Jimenez is Brandon Valenzuela, who would catch if the game continues after Jimenez hit for Heineman. So Valenzuela on first, Okamoto on third, 1 down, Lucas up, and the first pitch is sprayed foul, 0-1. Just to circle back to Josh Lowe, he tried to slide forward, but it seemed like his knee caught the grass and got stuck there, and he somewhat somersaulted. I think if he slides smoothly, he catches that ball fairly easily. 0-1. And Lucas fouls back another heater. There's 96 from Romano, the hardest we've seen of the day. Valenzuela was taken off for second. He'll jog back to first. Quickly, an 0-2 count, 1 out, and runners on first and third. It's 7-3 Angels, top of the ninth. You get one more on, you can dream on a home run that would tie the game. Infield at double play depth, the 0-2. Down and away. Through the slider there and just missed. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
You're trying to get Vladimir Guerrero Jr. to the plate. He's standing in the hole right now.
You got a 3-for-4 Ernie Clement on deck as well. Lucas with 2 hits today, faces a 1-2. Called strike 3, 95 on the outside corner. Good pitch from Romano. And now there are 2 outs.
Might have been his best pitch of the outing so far. Good tilt on that fastball. Threw a couple of good sliders before that. Well located right on the black on the outside part.
So Ernie Clement, the final hope for the Blue Jays. Angels do have Nick Sandlin loosening in their pen. Romano approaching 20 pitches, but still pitching with a 4-run lead. First and third, 2 down, top of the ninth, the pitch. Called strike. Ernie has singles in the first, third, and seventh. His hit in the seventh tied the game at 3 before the Angels scored 4 in the bottom of the seventh to take the 7-3 lead they have now. Romano's 0-1. And Clement bounces it softly to third. Charging Grissom. Crow hop. Throw on to first in time. And that's the ball game. The Angels win the game 7-3, avoiding the sweep as they rally late for 4 runs in the 7th inning.
Well, the Blue Jays knew coming into this ball game that it was going to be a tough matchup with arguably the best pitcher in the major leagues right now in Jose Soriano. But they actually had a good game plan coming in. They ended up getting 7 base hits against him. They were tied late. Unfortunately, the bullpen, Tommy Nance and Braden Fisher, just couldn't locate their pitches. They couldn't command their pitches well enough to get the Blue Jays a win here in Anaheim. But it was a really well-played game overall. Outside of that bullpen performance, I was really impressed with some of the ABs today against one of the best.
Blue Jays fall 7-3. We'll take a quick step aside. When we come back, we'll wrap it up and get you over to Blue Jays Talk. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Finding great candidates.
There's the bunt. That could be trouble as Petrie. No, Stevie dives in and beats it. Good effort by Steve Lyons.
ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within